All right. Moment of truth, folks. Moment of truth, folks. Boom. Oh my God. It happened. And let's see right now. Are we? Start sending us your video. Guys, this is just incredible. I got my YouTube back. And I think we're streaming live on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me check. Let me check with the team. Can you check the YouTube to see if it worked? Because I'll tell you, if I'm back on YouTube, the game is changed and we're on offense. Less defense, more offense, please. Today's a very offensive show. We're going to be very offensive here. Taking ground, almost as offensive as the war in Gaza, but we're just in the media world. Oh, God, I want to hear it. Can I get somebody to tell me if I am live on the YouTube? Because if I am on the YouTube, I am so happy. Oy vey. I know I'm live on Instagram. This is incredible. I can't believe they're letting me back on Instagram, too. Like, Meta is changing, folks. And Meta had reported their biggest earnings. All right, so the Meta's back. So Meta had reported its biggest earnings in Q3 of 2025 ever. And I think it's because all the Nazism on X doesn't work. People don't like it. People don't like it and they leave. Which begs the question, why did Elon Musk buy it if it was meant to lose? The old X was more profitable, first of all. And second of all, that being said, did he buy it just to promote Nazism? I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I'm definitely asking questions. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, melech haolam, shehakol nihiyeh b'dvaro. Oh, yeah. That is the bracha of success, folks. All right. Let me see. Oh, vey. We will see as they tune in. But I think there's even a chat feature on the X. So, I'm sorry. On the YouTube, there's a chat feature. Obviously, there's the super chats on Rumble, which are obviously already open. So if you want to go check that out, you're welcome to go check out the super chats on Rumble. You know, we really. Oh, interesting. They're putting shows. I'm watching right now the commercials that they give for the commercials that they give on the Rumble. Guys, this is, and girls, I know there's some girls out there that listen to the show. This is incredible. This is incredible. I have been banned from YouTube since episode 34. And I'm in like episode 90 something right now. I don't know. Today we got Oran. Tomorrow we got Dinesh D'Souza coming on air. It's going to be incredible. We got a lot of people in. If you are watching, share the link, get the broadcast, go to the YouTube, and somebody tell me, folks, did we break through the YouTube red wall? And I think they got it because, you know, like, Candace is like the #1 show on YouTube. She's like got no censorship. And she goes on YouTube and she just like lies about me constantly on YouTube. She said I was at the Hampton Summit and I had a whole week of retraction. An entire week of retraction. All of our closest friends, mutuals, because we're clearly in the same world, mutuals would call me. Were you there with Charlie Kirk? What happened? No, I wasn't there with Charlie in the Hamptons. I had no clue what that was even happening until Candace started speaking about it. And then she tied me in with Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon. Thank you, Candace. You've connected me back closer with the tribe. Now I have a relationship with the both of them. Not like the best, but like I've met them both thanks to you, Candace. Josh was on the show last week. Josh Hammer, brilliant guy. Really brilliant. We're very blessed to have such smart people, that smart Jews that contribute to the fabric of America. They want like a Jew-free America. They're like, we're willing to have every single race except the Jews. I mean the Khazars. I mean the Jews. Yeah, they killed Christ. They killed the Jesus. It's like nonstop LARP. And it doesn't work. All their shows are down. All their ratings are down. From the biggest ones to the smallest ones, they've all taken massive hits in their publicity. X itself now is just like dead after the war in Israel ended. Literally, the war in Israel was like the thing that broke X. Elon had a position. It was like either like I don't know, it was very like duplicitous. Posing on one hand with the going to the visit the hostages, posing with hostages, going to Auschwitz with Ben Shapiro and Amichai Shikli, the minister of diaspora. What other country on earth has the ministry of diaspora? Just Israel. And Amichai Shikli is a really special guy. But Elon Musk went with him and Ben Shapiro to Auschwitz. He did that whole thing with the, do you know what this necklace means? But then online, his platform became like the epicenter for provoking violence against Jews with massive amounts of foreign bots, massive amounts of astroturfing of accounts. Wow, it works. YouTube works. This is amazing. Baruch Hashem. So, long story short, he played this double card. And then you come home to X and you look at X and it's like, all you got to do is say one thing about a Jew and you'll get platformed and be a face. Like if you're an anonymous account, anonymous accounts can only get platformed by the face accounts, people who are like visible on the internet in the anti-Semitic world. So you don't have any like even the really, really big anonymous anti-Semitic accounts like 1984, like they kind of like given their permission through like the visible accounts. People like Jake Shields, people like Nick Fuentes, people like Candace Owens. And I must say, Jake Shields and Nick Fuentes have both started coming back on. I mean, Jake is still out there a lot, which is bizarro to me, but you see in his mannerisms, he's like, he said the other day, he's like, can we move on from something other than anti-Semitism? And he's like, it's trend. I feel like everybody is doing it and it's too trendy and it's not cool anymore. I was like, okay, if you're going to say that publicly, you don't really believe what you're talking about. You're just doing it for clicks, which is good. That's like better than an actual believer. And thank God someone like that is at the helm of the neo-Nazi movement and not a believer. And even Nick Fuentes, who was the leader of the movement, with his AFPACs 1 through 4 and his constant appearances on Alex Jones, now he's even taken some steps back, which has been very welcome. Nice to see. Because, folks, if you look at what Candace is doing, this is the honeypot. This is the call to arms. That's the tequila. Candace is doing a tequila right now. When she goes on the internet and she talks about people like and vilifies them with she does the weird eye thing. She has like an eye on every side or each side of her head, and like a 4-inch space in between her eyes. And it gets kind of crazy because like when she like hyper focuses with that distance with the anger, it's like, whoa, what's happening? You know, like when you see it in Candace's face, it's like it's really crazy, and it's like this bloodlust. And but that's what she's doing. She's provoking, like instigating hatred, instigating violence to Jewish accounts, instigating violence to myself from and other people like Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon and Bill Ackman. And Bill Ackman, you know, the billionaire, he can afford his security. But when someone takes to the internet and they like all but call for violence, like, what are you gonna do about it, America? Are you gonna rise up? You know, and it's just like provoking the crowd, provoking the crowd, provoking the crowd. And it's the same thing the left does. That's why we had Tyler Robinson. So this shit is pretty serious. And Candace Owens, I think when Nick went on Candace Owens and they got into that little tiff and she like demonically like fought with him on camera, I think that's what really caused the rift. And Nick just gave her the throne of the anti-Semites. She's like really the believer, you know. So like and that's it's like she's the real believer of like the Nazism. The rest of them, they play it like Jake said. They play it like it's trendy, you know, and that is more palatable to America and our sovereign interests than to have some like sort of, you know, division along the lines of like let's do the thing that Adolf Hitler didn't do to the Jews. Like, let's gas them all. Let's line them up against the wall. Let's do all the. You hear all this stuff on the internet that people say, and like she did that whole episode where she like was saying that that Mengele didn't really do the experiments on the Jews in the Holocaust and whatnot. You know, and that's just crazy shit. That's just like such crazy shit. You know, the 271,000 crowd. You know who they are. They're like, oh, there wasn't a person over 271,000. They were turned into lampshades. They were turned into soap bars. These people are so retarded. And like so utterly insensitive too. Like I want to see the same people do it for comedy, but do it for Armenia and see how the Armenians handle it. Like honest to God, like here in LA. Oh, check out my shirt, folks. We're in the World Series. Oh my God. And that's other news. That's like better news. Thank God there's like some good news going on in the world because I'm just so sick of these LARPing losers. The losers who sit on the internet all day and Jew LARP. It's just like Jew LARP Central. Do. Anyways, so the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, guys. Dodgers and the Blue Jays. We are going into game 3, and I'm super stoked on it. Go Dodgers. I love the Dodgers. It's just like such a Jewish team, you know what I'm saying? It's like the colors are the same. It's LA. It's like it's our boys, man. It really is. It's our boys. But let's pivot into something really positive. Ohtani's contract last week was announced that they paid it off. That the Dodgers have earned back Ohtani's full contract. He's in year 3 of a 10-year, $750 million contract. And he's 3 years into it. The Dodgers are free and clear. Every single home run or strikeout that Ohtani makes right now is for profit. Just want to say. It's like we already paid it off. It's ours. We own it free and clear for the next 7 years, Ohtani. Bring us home another pennant. Otani's really like the Kobe Bryant of baseball. And LA, we have like the best teams all the time. I just think like the NFL sucks. And Mayor Garcetti sucks. Now it's Karen Bass who sucks also, but Mayor Garcetti, what a privilege this loser had. He literally had the opportunity to work with the NFL and negotiate the possibility of a new team being born in Los Angeles. But this guy turns around and like takes the Chargers and the Rams who were like their second wife that they come to only to win Super Bowls. Then they run back to St. Louis. Whatever the case. I'm proud of both teams for being in Los Angeles. I think that we deserved another team and someone stronger. Like Donald Trump would have totally had a new team in the NFL. It would have been like called the Los Angeles Angels. But thank God the Dodgers are also not from LA. The Lakers are not from LA. The Angels were from LA, but then they moved to Anaheim because they like got pushed out. The real Angelinos keep getting pushed out for these foreigners. But there's actually only one sports team that was born in LA. Besides soccer, that doesn't count. We're Americans. And that is the Stanley Cup former champions, the Los Angeles Kings. And of course, Adam King has always been a fan of the Kings, just on principle and name only. Anyways, it's a nice little detour because I'm so sick of like I said, the constant Jew LARP. It's just like constantly happening nonstop. Everybody's always LARPing on the internet. And I want to show you guys my favorite tweet that I think I ever made. One of them. Definitely one of my favorite memes I ever made. Let's pull it up because I feel like I killed it yesterday. And I want to share. How do I do this? Gosh, oh, there you go. So I got to say that I'm so grateful that I'm a public person now. Anyways, tomorrow we got Dinesh D'Souza, 10-8, 3 p.m. That's 3 p.m. Central Pacific time. And God, I got his movie. His movie's out of control, guys. His movie's out of control. It's unbelievable. But I just want to show you guys because I'm really backing Randy Fine these days. I think Randy Fine is the shit. And I want you guys to see this. Evan Kilgore says, how long have Republicans been saying they're going to ban dual citizenship in Congress and introduce term limits for Congress? I'll believe it when I see it. And big shout out to Randy Fine, who, prior to Evan even saying this, introduced the Disqualifying Dual Loyalty Act. And this would make it it would make it a ban for anybody holding dual loyalty from being elected to Congress, dual citizenship. So here you go, Evan Kilgore eating Randy Fine's American Pie, straight up American Pie. I promised my friend Kosha Dills that I'd play his song. I'll play that for you. But I just wanted to share with you guys this meme because Evan Kilgore, pie on his face from Randy Fine. And I hope, Evan, if you really believe in this, I really hope that you could get behind Randy Fine. I'm just pulling your chain. I actually like Evan Kilgore's page. He's funny. And I enjoy watching him from time to time. He's a better frenemy than Hayden McDougal. Well, Hayden McDougal is actually really a frenemy. Evan, I wish you'd become a frenemy because you look cooler than Hayden McDougal. And I'm just like so sick of Hayden McDougal these days. I'm like, this guy is so fake. I mean, he really is a frenemy. So I guess it's like what we're supposed to do is talk shit about our frenemies. But I see him. He blew up on Instagram. He got this new page. He was the Angry Patriot. Now he's Woman Propaganda and he got like millions, over 1 million followers on Instagram. That's how I know that, like, if YouTube is unbanning my account, then things are about to explode over here at the Adam King Show. I am like dialed in for this, because I am one of the most talked about people on the internet. Right? I just found a clip of me. I got to play this clip. This is exactly what I'm going to play before we get our friend comes on here. But I just found a clip on Instagram of me that went like millions of views. And I was like, are you kidding me? God bless you, Hashem. God bless you. So let's play that clip. If I could find it. It was on Instagram. And I'm about that Instagram life, folks. I like Instagram a lot. I found the clip. Boom, chicky, boom, boom. Boom. Okay. We're going to play this clip. How do I start it and stop it? Okay. Okay. We're going to play this clip that I found on the internet. Like, it's got like an insane amount of views. You guys will see it in 2 seconds. I'm going to screen share.
Red heifer sacrifice update. The recent red heifer sacrifice wasn't burned in a rehearsal, it was real.
The red heifer people, they fooled everybody. So what they did was they said, we're just gonna do a practice one.
According to Adam King, he has the ashes.
Right here, red heifer ashes. They ended up going out, doing a real cow, and that's tikva. It was a real offering.
I do.
I all by the laws.
Byron Stinson, the Christian evangelical Texas cattleman we interviewed in Christspiracy, whose segment was banned from theaters worldwide, raised the red heifers and flew them to Israel using government-backed loopholes and hundreds of thousands of dollars. He confirmed a perfect red heifer sacrificed in a perfect ceremony.
Now that this happened, the Messiah can come build the third temple in Jerusalem.
This ritual is intended to restart the millions of bloody temple animal sacrifices, a system that Jesus and the Nazarenes turned the tables against. The priests trained for the ceremony were groomed from childhood, forbidden from going outside, and not even allowed to touch the earth.
They have to be of a specific bloodline. They raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground, and they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years.
Never left?
Nope, because he was born to do this ritual.
Some say a twisted and deeply abusive path masked as purity. And this one cow, Tikva, flown from Texas, sacrificed in secret, is now at the center of prophetic claims and miracle rumors.
There's going to be miraculous healings as a result of this ritual.
Some, like Adam King, are claiming her ashes are healing people around the world.
This is the stuff right here, man. They have been sprinkling on people. A man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened since this has gone down.
But the question is, would Jesus endorse child-groomed priests performing blood rituals to create ashes of healing? Or would he support a sacrifice that appears to have helped spark a war? Hamas stated that the October 7th attacks were, in part, a reaction to the red heifers, which they believe were connected to plans to demolish the Dome of the Rock and rebuild the Third Temple, as publicly promoted on the Temple Institute's
on this
website,
show today,
an
we're building
organization
the
that receives support from the Israeli government and evangelical Christians worldwide.
Israel should make the Gaza Strip a parking lot.
Pastor
Get a great
Greg
big missile and blow that wicked Dome of the Rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt.
Let's get that third temple!
This is exactly what Christspiracy exposes, that animal slaughter isn't just an ancient ritual, it's the foundation of a worldwide system built on blood and violence. From religious
now
wars
he becomes
to
like a
industrial
PETA
slaughter,
activist.
from big pharma to government collusion, trillions of lives are lost each year in an industry fueled by exploitation, human trafficking, and
Trillions of
slavery.
lives,
Watch the
folks.
full story uncensored. Comment Red Heifer and we'll DM you a link to stream Christspiracy now free. The truth must get out. Breaking red heifer sacrifice update. The recent red heifer sacrifice wasn't burned in a rehearsal. It was real.
The red heifer
Guys.
people. They fooled everybody. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one.
According to Adam King, he has the ashes.
Right here, red heifer ashes.
True story. True story. Adam King with my red heifer ashes. I'm going to ask Tall about the red heifer when he comes on. Got a lot of fun going on today. It's gonna be a good day. It's a Monday. We got so much happening. So much drama in the LBC. It's kind of hard being Adam D.O. Double King. Anyways, okay. So, yeah, we were talking about LARPers on the internet, believers, non-believers. You know, and then there's people who are just like down for the trend or have like some sort of political alignment. And I realized about the alt-right space is it's just so influenceable. Like all this woman has to do is say, you know, this one thing and all the people bark. And what she's doing, like I was saying earlier, before I got tangented on the Dodgers and Ohtani and the good news of LA being in the World Series, is that there's these people on the internet whose sole job is to provoke the actual crazy to do violence and to do harm. So literally, Candace Owens is doing exactly what her handlers on the handlers on the left do when they instigate like the LGBTQ crowd. So basically, like Candace is instigating a crowd, and all the people on the alt-right that she's instigating, they're like the equivalent of the LGBTQ like nerds. Like they're the same people, but on different sides. They're like people who are motivated so strongly to anger and violence that they just seethe with hatred and rage at the prospect of having to just like share or breathe air with a Jew. And I see it all the time. People it's a horrible, horrible environment. It's just such a destructive environment, X. And Elon Musk, he bought this whole thing for what? So that Nick Fuentes can get his voice back, so that Candace Owens can be the biggest mouthpiece, Ian Carroll can become 1 million views. Guys, oh my God. Also, like the guy goes from like, look at him. He's like Freddie Mercury, low quality gay porn content maker, you know, and then he's Pizza Boy. And then the next day he's like 1.1 million views, million followers, lapdog of Candace Owens. And those are the believers. I don't even think Ian Carroll's really a believer. I just think like he doesn't want to do gay porn anymore, and he like doesn't want to be a couch potato pizza delivery boy. So he's like just like wants to be like Candace's errand boy. And he became Candace's errand boy. You know, that's what he does now. So, you know, it's just so funny. I love watching all these things. You should watch him and Ayala Jacoby on the internet. It's so funny. Ayala Jacoby, what a superstar, man. We're so blessed. All the Jews on our side. We're so blessed for every single Jew. You know who I love? Michael Rappaport. What a Jew. He started really putting on tefillin because of October 7th. And I'll tell you, like, it's absolutely crazy. Guys, I'm going to give you a sneak peek really quick while we wait for Tal. I am going to show you, because I'm in the middle of, I think this is it. I'm in the middle of my preview for the Dragon's Prophecy. And we can watch a little bit of Dinesh D'Souza's new film.
We sat at the very back of the shelter, and a few minutes after, a lot of people started to come inside. And we became to be 40 people, claustrophobic, and one person on top of the other, and we couldn't breathe.
I don't think it's allowed.
When they got there, the first thing that they did was to murder a police officer.
I don't think you could see it, guys. For some reason, it's not showing, but We're going to show clips tomorrow. It's going to be good. We don't have to show this new thing. But anyway, so Dinesh D'Souza, The Dragon's Den. You guys got to go see it. It's heavy. I don't think my screen share is going to work because of probably like a copyright protection thing. Good for him. Wasn't trying to plagiarize, just trying to promote. But I do have another video that I wanted to show you. I promised my friend Koshadils that I would play his music video in the show. So let's get a little bit of musical entertainment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, we go Hawaita. Oh, we go Hawaita. This is the Hawaita. Fresh from the helicopter, let's go. This is for a London and Shentos. Life is cafe of fuch, backwards memento. 738 is the temple. From the streets to the temple, locked in, yeah, no one forgotten. This is Avinatan to the Cuneo. This is not a movie, yo. See them all home, that's so beautiful. Eviatar to a bar, trying to make a great song. From Argentina, riding the horn like it's Aton. Hey, man, live from Key Car, Hatufim. New pass, overflow, give me the chair, I gotta lean. Distant relative, I do it for the Anashim. We all a team, L'chaim, L'chaim. Fight us, cause you think you righteous. This is the Habaita. Let me remind ya, don't leave them behind us. This is the Habaita. From Berry to Haifa, put up your lighter. This is the Habaita. Left to the right us, time to unite us. This is the Habaita. Sign up times, I'm on my tippy toes, out of control. No go reunited, seen the pics and felt it in my soul. Posters torn down, can you believe they just be hating on the Beavis babies? Document the moment for my people, so please don't pay me. Stand up for falling, there is no more sitting here. It breaks my heart to see thousands of stickers everywhere. Give me two like it's Gali and Zeev. See them fly above and breathe, Maccabee, Tel Aviv. I feel the pain, it's insane. How many Matans is coming back? There's a gift, also my middle name. From the Nova to Simchat Torah, there's more love. Habaita not for me and you, it's for us. Fight us, cause you think you righteous. This is the Habaita. Let me remind ya, don't leave them behind us. This is the Habaita. From Berry to Haifa, put up your lighter. This is the Habaita. Left to the right us, time to unite us. This is the Habaita. Gosha deals on it. Count your shekels, okay. Hey yo, we go Habaita. Yo, we are Habaita. This is the Habaita. Habaita. Where we go Habaita. Habaita. Habaita.
Are you interested in mushrooms?
That was
Do you
actually
like drama?
pretty dope. I'm gonna
You love
say.
this. I'm Matt, a food scientist, and it's crazy how many lies brands will tell you about mushrooms just to scam you out of your money.
Pretty dope. Kosher deals, everybody. Kosher deals here on the Tonight Show with Adam King. Anyway, so lots going on over here at the Adam King Show. Lots going on. Big guests down the pipe. I got Shail Ben Ephraim. We're supposed to do that in person. Yup. That's actually, I don't know if it's actually going to happen. We'll see. It's up to him. He hasn't been engaging me so much. I've been egging him on like, hey, yo, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? And he engages sometimes, but if he wants this, he should engage Mo. But everybody like that, they're all like kind of fake, you know? Like, I'm just like, where do you, you know, with Shael, I just want to know, like, where does he actually find pride in his Judaism? You know, and it's like, it would be really tacky for him to say, like, something that, like, you know, is about supporting Palestine because Judaism supports Palestine. You know, but I want to do Shael. I haven't debated a Jew, really. I never really did. I never debated Jews, only the anti-Semites. Except for Nathaniel Kapner and Real Bro Nat. Yeah, that's his moniker. And he's a Jew. and he converted to becoming a Greek Orthodox. And he's also like this other type of person that the internet allowed to incite violence and incite riots and pogroms. And he would go on Alex Jones all the time too, and then like afterwards talk shit about Alex, like immediately after like going on his show. I'm like, why won't you have me on anymore? And Alex is like even kind and considerate to him, probably because he's like plays himself off as a priest. But he was also somebody, Stu Peters, Lucas Gage, all these people, they've all like come and gone, and they were all giving it their best shot. Jackson Hinkle, to speaking of Jackson Hinkle, Shabbos Kestenbaum just debated Jackson Hinkle. That's a clip we should play. That one blew my mind. I was just like, holy shit, Shabbos Kestenbaum, folks. Play that in a minute, but they were all allowed to instigate violence on the internet. Like there was no problem with that for them. And they were just got to keep their accounts, no problem. They, as long as they didn't say like actually that they wanted you to go kill Jews, but if they like inferred it. And so that's what Candace Owens does more than anybody. She infers violence and hatred against Jews, chaos and craziness. What are we going to do about it? Oh, there's only one thing left to do. As she like hides in, you know, Lord Farmer's son's mega mansion while instigating a crowd. Pathetic. Pathetic. But you have all these people on the internet who've had like a free license to instigate mobs, like for the last, God, 2 years, ever since October 7th. So Elon, like I was saying, is like this double agent. You know, like on one hand, he goes out on camera with Ben Shapiro and the Ben Shapiro thing, I'm getting to be, I love Ben Shapiro. I think he's brilliant. What a mensch that he's going to do the college tour. I think that's like super next level, but you know, maybe that's just where it goes down. And if that is the case, that so many non-Jewish people leave the Daily Wire and go join up with like Candace Owens Incorporated, maybe it's time for Ben Shapiro to start promoting Jewish voices. You know, like I was in this, like, I do these stupid things when I get bored. I like accept invitations for like the dumbest podcasts. Like, sure, I'll go. Why not? And it's like kung fu fighting, you know, and it's just with like anyone's. But I do it because I think it's cool, because literally, like, if I go on their show, they like become like the number one, and I'm like, it's like a confidence booster for me that I just like show up to this random goys who hates Jews show, and you know everything is like, and then he like surges and it's, oh my gosh, you know, like, wow, he had Adam King on the show. It's funny to me. Anyways, I try not to do it so often, but I'm glad I did this one because he was like really taking shots at Yossi Farrow. And Yossi Farrow's the man. Like, so like, I don't know. I'm glad I got to go and defend him there, but God. Let me play the Shabbos Kestenbaum clip because that's better than this story. For sure, that's better than this story. Let me see if I can even find it first, because that was just. I saw like Cam Higbee also go up against this. Cam Higbee went up against your favorite Jackson Tinkle, your favorite Yemenite stooge, and but Cam Higbee did a takedown, but not like this. This one liner from Shabbos Kestenbaum, I was just like, good Lord, Shabbos Kestenbaum. Good Lord. I'm trying to find the clip. I know I spoke to him about it. He's coming on the show. We're going to do a show together just to talk shit about Jackson Hinkle and his debate against Jackson Hinkle. I'm really looking forward to that. You have not joined. Okay. You have not joined. Please click the link above. Okay, hold on. Dealing with a Slight technical difficulty with our guest here. Restarting the... Okay, he'll be in a second. And if I could just find this Shabbos Kestenbaum before we get our interview, because this thing was just like, oh my God, dude. Oh, here it is. Okay. This was just like, holy shit. Cool. All right, Shabbos Kestenbaum, everybody. Hold on, let me minimize my DMs so I could be a... Okay, Shabbos Kestenbaum, let's go.
Clinton, or you supported Hillary Clinton, you supported Barack Obama. Not surprising that you also support ISIS, just like Obama did in Syria, by the way.
I'd like to move on to our next and final section.
No, you have to let me respond to his idiocy. It's interesting you talk about me supporting Hillary Clinton, which I didn't. I was actually a Bernie Sanders supporter, which is interesting because so were you. And I know you don't like when people remind you of that fact because it makes you look like an idiot. I am at least able to admit that I was 18 and I was naive, and then I had a functioning brain and was able to actually see that terrorist groups like the Houthis that call death to America, which you yourself have admitted is part of their slogan, is pretty bad. And again, it's interesting you talk about the need to strip Americans of their citizenship. I live in America. I voted for President Trump. I campaigned for President Trump. You currently live in Russia. Okay, so you don't have the ability to start questioning people's patriotism. Why don't you come back to the United States and stand trial for all the federal investigations for providing material support to terrorist organizations? And again, if you can please provide 2 pieces of evidence as to how Zaid Hassan, a 13-year-old boy, was part of ISIS, which doesn't even operate in Gaza, that would be great. If you're able to provide the list of civilian casualties in the Korean War, that would be great. If you are able to provide the combatant-to-civilian ratio in the Gaza-Israeli war, that would be great. If you're able to provide the names of 3 clans that are currently operating in Gaza, that would be great. But you can't. Why? Because again, you have the intellectual capability of a folding chair. You are not able to respond to arguments. You're not a debater. You're a hack who says dumb shit on Twitter for money. So enjoy Russia. I will continue to enjoy my life in the greatest country of all, the United States of America, and any terrorist group that you simp to, whether it's the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, I will loudly stand against. And I speak on behalf of millions of Americans when I say, take your communist Russian Houthi ass and stay in Moscow.
Whoa! Oh my God! Ay, ay, ay. Take your communist Houthi ass and stay in Russia. Shabbos Kestenbaum, you gangster. Wow. That one was just a mic drop moment. Okay, Oran, what is going on, man? Let's figure this out. We got a little technical difficulty. Nope. Let's repopulate the link. All right. It's okay, folks. It's okay. Luckily, you have a master... What the heck? Waiting for host. It is not working. Okay, I'm live. It is not working.
Clinton, or you supported Hillary Clinton.
Okay. It is not registering you in the log. Can you try restarting your computer? All right. Let me just turn off my interview and turn back on my interview. Okay. All right. Oran is coming. Before he comes, I got to say, I found this guy on the internet. This guy is the funniest guy. I think this guy's crushing it. And like I was saying about Ben Shapiro, like it's really important to like push Jewish counts, man, because we're not going to go anti-Israel if we get in a dispute with you, you know. But Candace Owens, Brett Cooper, all these people, you know. And God bless Matt Walsh. He's got the world pulling on his heartstrings. And God bless Ben Shapiro, but, you know, substitute your ranks. Also, it would be nice for like Shmuley and Ben Shapiro to put down their beef. So I said I went on this guy's podcast, this like whatever nobody's podcast. And you know, it was such stupid questions, like stuff like, "Oh, you're the Hyksos, not the Jews. The real Jews are the Hyksos." This is like stupid shit. Anyways, and so like but he was asking about Shmuley and Ben Shapiro and like how they're like, and I was like, dude, they hate each other, man. Like they hate each other. he like thinks Shmuley and Ben Shapiro are like colluding on the internet, and Yossi Farrow is in with Epstein, and like this is what this guy thinks, and like I'm sitting over here like I can't believe, but I'm glad I go there because I'm just like snuff, 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 and then he gets botted because Adam King went on his show, and you know, it's not like he adds to the choir of the anti-Semites, but a good little myth busting is important. You point them in the right direction, you give them a book to read, and send them on their way. And with that, we finally got it to work. Thank God.
There it is.
There it is. Let's do a mic check. Can I get a ABCs from Tal Oran?
Here's an A, here's a B, and here's a C, ladies and gentlemen.
Perfect. We got your audio levels dialed in. I feel like I'm on Omegle right now, but the screen is horizontal. How you doing, man?
Alhamdulillah, man. Doing fantastic. How are you?
God bless. God, man. I'm doing amazing. Every day is the best day of my life. I got to say. Every day is the best day of my life.
Some awesome Jewish energy right there.
Bro, everybody on the internet, man, there's so many people that do awesome Jew energy, and you're one of them. And
Thank you.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're wearing that shirt straight up in that camera, like, boom. I love that shirt. Get a close up on that shirt. Hold on, I'll pull up. I'm going to pull up. Give me 1 second to pull this one up.
I mean, I am what I am, you know?
Shirt, folks.
I am who I am.
At that. Oh my God. Literally for my audience. I got a white colonializer over here, folks. What are we going to do about this?
Colonize this live stream.
I don't even know which one to play first. I had like a million different things to talk about with you on the show, but I was going to play your videos. There's a few of them. The one you did the other day where you were like a Pakistani with your Israeli flag behind you, and you were talking to a Syrian in America who wants to jihad. I'm like, Shema Yisrael, are you effing serious?
Yeah, we have a serious problem in the United States with these jihadists. I did a whole the week before the war was brought to an end by Donald Trump. I did a week attacking the Houthis, and I found this very disturbing trend between Chicago and New York, where there are many Yemeni American citizens and or just green card holders who openly support overseas terrorist groups and are proud to say it. All of them own bodegas or vape shops, and they have zero fear when interrogated or asked about it to show support for an overseas terrorist group. It's a serious issue that every single American needs to be aware of, that's going on.
You know, I have so much I want to talk to you about. Like, my gravity is like towards your style and the way that you handle these situations. And I'm going to play that video because in case anybody in our audience hasn't seen you before, I feel like this video that you dropped, on the 26th, your deport video, I felt like that one was like so your style, and I commend it too because I also like my whole thing is through comedy. If you could make someone laugh or even just smirk a little bit, their heart opens up and you can import a message into there. And that's Absolutely. What you did with this last clip. I'm going to play this clip because this is just so the audience understands like the level of magic here on your broadcast. So
from Israel.
Me? No, don't. No, me? Pakistan. I'm safe. Don't worry. من وين انت?
من سوريا.
You like Jolani?
Yes, I do.
You want to kill the Dursi?
I want to kill Israel, Dursi.
Dursi, Alawi?
Alawi, everything.
Anyone that's not the Sunni, huh?
Yes.
Shia also?
Shia too.
You are a Sunni Syrian in America.
Yes.
You want to kill the Jews. You want to kill the Druze. You want to kill the Alawi. I'm curious. You live in America. Do you like America?
Yes. You're from Israel.
Me? No, don't. Me? Pakistan. I'm safe. Don't worry.
Actually, from Pakistan.
Pakistan, yeah. Pakistan Zindabad. You know, when I grow up, I want to be great.
Pakistan Zindabad!
So, why put a death flag?
It's just for conversation. No, let's talk about you. I'm curious. Usually many Syrian Americans, they support death to America. Like, America is the shaitan, no? You want America to be Muslim, no?
Exactly.
This is a young Syrian man, wants to see the destruction of America's allies, wants to kill other Muslim groups who don't agree with him, like the Druze, wants to kill Alawites because they don't believe in the same religion as him, and essentially supports the destruction of America while reaping the benefits of being in America, him and his family. You know this saying we have, take one good look at him and deport. Sharafna, I hope I get to see you in Syria one day, inshallah. Love you, brother.
Oh my God. I know, right? Like, I hope I get
I'm
to
such
see
a
you.
fool, man.
You're what?
I'm such a fool.
Why do you think you're such a fool?
It's the way I talk to them. It's so funny.
Bro, you have me rolling, dude. Sometimes I'm like, I just watch your videos before bed and I'm like, I hate to say it, you're like the babysitter. I mean, like, I fall asleep laughing to your videos like almost every night. And I'll tell you why. Because, like, in my world, I am like so utterly immersed in the anti-Semitic world, unlike anyone else I've ever met before. And like, I frequently have to interact with people that I don't like to. It just happens. Hashem uses me in these weird ways. But like, some of them are like HT, for example. And like, he took, and the Omega space is like, the Omegle space, you and that other guy Shahar does it too, you know,
Yeah,
really
great.
well. The two of you guys are like defending the fortress on Omegle. And Omegle is really the children. It's such a weird, perverted, sick, twisted world, the Omegle thing. It really needs to be stopped. There really has to be more controls over, like, you know, social media for really young kids.
Yeah.
But a lot of the anti-Semites, like, and I don't even want to call them anti-Semites because they hate so much more than just Jews. They are just like violent, radical extremists. And HT, the what's his name, the Joker guy, you know, Paul Miller, they all go on there and they like radicalize to kids. And they post their videos on X without any problems. And they're just, some of them will hold up actual guns in their videos, and they're just like incredulous. And so you've taken it upon yourself, you know, to go after the Omegle space, which isn't something that everybody likes to do. But like the way you've done it is, it's almost like they are your raw product and you're the manufacturing facility and you're looking for clips. And so like, what your process, like when you're making a video, how many videos do you go through before you find one like that one? And like, what's the process of like honing? Because I imagine you've probably filmed 20 for every one. I can't imagine every single Omegle that you do is a hit. But what's the process that you go before you publish these? How do you get to that level? And now when you mash them up with the graphics and you have that little Pakistani kid behind you, like laughing, oh my God, you're killing me, Smalls. Like, oh my God. What's your process? How do you get to those masterpieces? Because each one is such a masterpiece. And X used to feed me all those people like HT and Paul Miller because it wants me to fight with them. You know, the algorithm wants me to engage with them and wants them to engage with me. And so, like, what's your process? How do you get out there? And have you ever came across like HT or Paul Miller or any of those guys in those spaces?
I don't know who HT or Paul Miller is. The only one I know on the opposite side is Hamza, the retarded Palestinian guy with the big glasses who only talks to children. It's very strange. So that he's the only one I know on the opposite side. I've spoken to this meathead. His name was Kenny. He's like this roided up bodybuilder guy who I just eviscerated in a 50-minute conversation where he said the Jews were attacking the Nazis or the Germans pre-World War II. He said Israel attacked the Nazis. I was like, Israel wasn't a state, buddy. It's a really good clip. That also has like nearly 1 million views now on Instagram. So look, for me, the process started around a year and a half ago. I started going on this on Omi TV to debate with people, and I exclusively did it as like a as a perk for my Patreon audience, I wasn't confident enough to release these debates out into the world. I basically did a year in the ringer, almost like a boxing training, but only for the people who I trusted to watch it. I didn't want it to go out because I wasn't confident in my debating skills, and I literally just spent a year on the website. Some debates would go very badly. Some of them I would lose. But over a year, I got really, really good at honing in the points that I wanted to talk about, steering the conversation in the right direction. And I always say this, I don't do hasbara in the way that many people do hasbara. I'm not in the business of defending Israel, explaining about Israel. You want that? There's 1.5 million fucking YouTubers you can go watch who do the same shit, who talk about, and no disrespect to them. That's not what I do. That's not what I want to do. I'm here to attack you. If you don't like Israel, if you don't like the Jews, I want you to know I'm your number one worst enemy. I'm coming for you.
I love it.
That's what I kind of coined the term through a joke of like, when in my intro of my videos, I would be like, I'm your sweet Zionist prince. I'm your favorite white colonizer. One day I just comboed the two of them and turned it into a verb called a Zionizer. And now it's kind of like what I do.
Zionizer. I love
I
it.
Zionize people. That's what I do now. When people are on the other side of the fence, the goal for me in every one of these Omi TV conversations,
the Zionizer.
Can I use my charisma? Can I use my smile? Can I use my talking points to Zionize the fuck out of you in the middle of the conversation and get you over to my side? It doesn't always work.
The
but it does work
Zionator
a
is
surprising
gonna
amount of time.
Zionize the fuck out of you on the internet.
I'm gonna Zionize you,
dude. I love it. Honest to God, and you do it with like, it's like you just trip them up, and you're like not even talking to them. Sometimes you're literally. Sometimes you're so in the moment where I see it in your face. It's like you got them, and you're like, okay, now I'm not talking to them. I'm using them. And I'm talking to 1 million people. And you're like talking directly at us, the audience, and just using these people.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. Do you ever come into contact with kids on the platform? And like, how do you deal with minors? What's your strategy with what do you do in that situation?
I generally try to avoid them just because I'm like, the brain's not developed. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes somebody triggers you. And it's happened where we have uploaded some videos with minors before. Sometimes somebody triggers you or they like say the wrong thing and you don't even realize that they're young. Sometimes you need to be snapped out of it. You just start a conversation. And it's happened where a few conversations have been really great. Like I had these 2 Palestinian girls. They looked like maybe they were like 16, 17. I had like a very brotherly conversation with them about their identity, which was beautiful. Like it's a beautiful, I think it's like a 20-30 minute conversation, just absolutely gorgeous on my YouTube channel. And so like that, I was explaining to them about Palestinian identity and Palestinian history, stuff that they just didn't know. But most of the times I try to avoid children like the plague. I'm also not comfortable speaking to children that I don't know online. I find it to be strange, but it does happen.
I respect that a lot. To me, that means a lot, because the thing that bugs me about Omegle is like, for instance, like HT, him and I have crossed paths many times, and like not on Omegle. I just know he goes to Omegle, and he's so radical on Omegle, and it's like such a security thing. And they publish the most crazy videos, and he always publishes videos with kids. And when he publishes the videos, I remember there was this one time he was talking to like these 2 15-year-old girls that like immediately started zig heiling him because they knew who he was from the internet. And he was like saying stuff like, you too, like, what amazing girls you are. And, and then like they take him to their father. They're like, Dad, come look at this video. Look, we got it. Look who it is. And the dad knows him too because they all watch him. I don't know why the dad is on Omegle. I don't know why any adult is on Omegle because of the amount of kids and porn and weird shit on Omegle. But like, it's just like totally a weird degenerate place of like grooming children for all sorts
All
of
right, can you stop
weird.
shitting on what I do for a job?
Not you. You're
I'm
like
joking.
cleaning up a mess. You're the janitor of Omegle. I mean,
I'm
like,
joking.
you are like safety and HR, like the head of safety for Omegle, and you're going in there and you're cleaning it up. Shahar does also an amazing job. I'd love to have him and you both on the show together. You know, to get the work you do is so important, and it makes me feel good inside knowing that like our team, the Jews, like we're not even engaging children. You know, like I think it's wrong. I think it's like that whole grooming the kids on Omegle. So he goes to them. So the girls take the camera to the father with HT, and he's on the phone with the father on Omegle, you know, on his show. And he's like, has this emotional breakdown where he's like, you have such good daughters, the best girls. And it's like this, honest to God, it was like so almost like perverted, like his beard is gray. Like he wishes he could like impregnate those 15-year-old girls. Like he's like just it's almost like thirsty for them. You know,
Who is
and in
this
the
HT? His channel? Is he
yeah,
YouTuber?
his moniker is Honest Truth.
On
I'm sure
YouTube?
they'll clip this and show it to him now that I'm even just spoke his name. But I've spoken to him in many spaces, and like there was a group. He was like associated with like this group of people that I really worked a lot with. And they would do these spaces on the internet. And I, like you, find like I'm on shlichut. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on shlichut. And that's why I engage with the non-Jewish world the way that I do. That's why I engage with the anti-Semitic world the way that I do. Because I'm here to like Makarev, you know, and I'm here to Makarev where I can. And if I have an opponent, for example, like I did Daniel Hakikachu like a few weeks ago, and he is like a Harvard graduate Muslim cleric in America who's an open jihadi, you know. In our debate, you know, the guy was like slandering Charlie Kirk, jumping out of his skin with joy. You know, the debate was scheduled for September 11th, and Charlie Kirk was killed, obviously, September 10th. And we had the September 11th debate scheduled for weeks. So anyway, so I go out there, I do content. I at that moment when he was insulting Charlie Kirk, I knew I was never going to Makarev him. I was never going to bring him closer or like teach him the lesson. But it was just like using him as fodder to teach other people, which you do amazingly. So, yeah, that children thing really bugs me out. There's also another guy that does children. His name is Paul Miller. He goes on a lot of the talk shows. And these are people that have become, you know, glorified. He does it. He claims it's comedy, but sometimes it's like literally like they'll have open guns on their shows, and they're talking to kids, you know, and like some of them are black kids, and he'll be like, I'm gonna kill all the Enners, you know, waving his gun on the show to a bunch of kids who are black, you know. And for some reason, like this type of content is allowed, and it's not, you know, like it's not even discouraged in certain situations. So, but yeah, that kid thing, the Omegle. So obviously you've been doing this for many years. How many videos? And I say this openly, like, you know, you've been doing this for how many years that you started with the Omegle?
Not even. I think I've only been doing the Omi TV publicly for 3 months.
No, you have like a million videos.
For the Omi TV specifically for 3 months. I've been a YouTuber for around 12 years.
Okay.
I was a travel video creator before the 7th of October. I traveled around the world to almost 80 countries for 10 years. That's all I did. And then when October 7th happened, I shifted my whole YouTube channel into a channel that talked about, defended, and advocated for Israel, and that's now shifted into a more direct message of peace through strength, and a wider message about Mizrahi Jewish heritage, Ethiopian Jewish heritage, the Middle East, and obviously being very attacky of the other side.
So you're Mizrahi, you're Iraqi, or you're Persian? What's your? What's your
I'm
background?
Iraqi, Persian, and Turkish.
Iraqi, Persian, and Turkish.
Yeah, and even there's more nuance there. I'm a mix of a few other things as well, but that's the basis.
So you remember like a week or so ago, I told you that I have a surprise for you, but I'm going to tell you on air.
Yeah.
So this is a good segue to that and a reminder because I almost forgot. But where does your name Oran come from?
Oran is just the Hebraized name that my family got here. Actually, my name is not even Oran; it's Oren, Oren. But my dad is dyslexic, and so when he emigrated to America, he changed the E to an A by accident. So that's how we ended up as Oran.
I got so excited for a second. I thought we might be distant cousins because I have a side of my family, the Oransky side of my family. And like they all shortened their name to Oran, Oran. It was
Interesting.
Oransky, but they shortened it to Oran. And I was like, no way. Maybe he's a part of that group and like there's some like Ashkenazi Sephardic mix going on, some
No,
Ashkefardic thing.
we went through a lot of evolutions. People always like to say this about Benjamin Netanyahu. They call him Benjamin McClowski or whatever the fuck they use his Polish name. Is like my family also. Our Arabic name in Iraq was Qalib, and then it went to Shamash, and then when they moved to Israel, they turned it into Shemesh to Hebraize it more. But it's not because anybody forced them. It's because they made a choice that they said they are coming back home to Israel. People don't understand. In the Jewish world, there's no such thing as a last name. That is literally just a modern. Your name is just Tal Ben, whatever your father's name is. That's all your name ever was. The last name in Israel is not, or in Judaism, is not really a concept that we have. It's now something that we abide by. But people always like to use that as a talking point. It's like, oh, these people Hebraize their name. You know what? My Iranian grandfather's last name, he was born with the last name Jakovich because at the time he was born in Tbilisi, Georgia. He's not Georgian. He was Persian, but there was a Russian czar who ruled that land at the time. And so they just called themselves Jakovich based on the fact that they were like the children of Israel, children of Jacob. And when they made it to Israel, they changed their name to Oran. But Jakovich sounds super Ashkenazi. It sounds like super Slavic.
So does Oran.
Oran sounds a little bit less because Oran is a Hebrew. That's actually my last name.
It would have had to. It's like really a Litvish name, like an old school, like Vilna, Lithuanian type of a name. So I was thinking, mate, because you're so dark. I was like thinking, he's had to be something in Israel, one of the the Ashkefardic mixes. But now that I know that it's not even that, but I hear it's still like Jakovich. So
but it's not really Jakovich. The real name was Pascal. That's the actual name.
Pascal or Bascal?
Pascal. It's named on and I don't even know if that's the real one, but my great grandfather Meir Pascal was born in a city called Urmia in Iran.
No way, you're Urmian?
Yeah, we're a community called Nashlidan.
Unbelievable! I love Urmian people, dude.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that side of my family too.
Seriously?
I only discovered this.
Oh my god!
3 months ago through a DNA test. Like I did a DNA test.
Bro, do you know anything about it?
So I'll tell you, I had a really amazing thing that happened. I did my DNA test, found out that my Georgian grandfather, who I thought could have been Ashkenazi, was actually Persian because his DNA came up as Iraqi, Iranian, Jewish. And then I went down the rabbit hole asking lost uncles and aunts information about our family. Lo and behold, I found out I have a great grandfather that was born in Urmia, but they grabbed this last name Pascal somewhere in the mountains of Azerbaijan. So I flew to the Caucasus. I went to Azerbaijan to go to that village.
Right, because you're a traveling blogger.
That's what I do. So I did a trip through Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia, and I made a discovery. I can't publicly disclose it, but I made a discovery that is going to be published soon online. I'm just holding the footage for now about my family in the mountains of Azerbaijan. Something like unbelievable that directly connects the Assyrian/Mesopotamian Jewish community at the first exile, the first temple, through the Caucasus region back to Israel. Like, it's incredible.
Wow, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That sounds so exciting. So the Urmia thing I know about because I have friends that are Urmian, many friends. And like Hashem literally brought me all the nishamot. I collect neshamot. He's like really given me a special treat. But like, just like Urmia is like almost like one family in a sense. Urmia really is like it. It really is like this ancient city where and they only speak Aramaic in the home.
Yeah.
They're
So my
fluent in
grandfather
Aramaic.
spoke my grandfather spoke fluent Aramaic his whole life.
Wow.
And they were part of this. What they call in the Caucasus, they call them Lachluchi. That's the name, and it means our language or our tongue in a Caucasus dialect. But the name now in Hebrew is known as Nashlidan. And these were a community of Jews who were sort of proto-Kurdish, proto-Assyrian, proto-Aramaic. We know they came from the First Temple period, settled there in Urmia, and they sort of gravitated all these cultures around themselves.
Urmians are
Very interesting.
super ancient.
Yeah.
Super ancient people.
Yeah.
Super ancient people. And you know are you in Israel? Is that where yeah, of
I live
course.
in Israel, yeah.
So I have Urmian friends in Israel. I'm going to connect you with them. And
Cool.
maybe they
I
can
would love
help
that.
you on your discovery of that patrilineal or wherever that is, because Urmia, they also speak fluent Aramaic. These are still
Yes.
like Urmians from our generation that still grow up with Aramaic only in the home. They're all from London. Some of them live here in Beverly Hills, but just wonderful people too to begin with. But they know all the Urmian families and stuff like that. You know, they're really dialed into like the whole Urmian scene. And so I'm curious if I'll connect you after the show. And
Cool.
they're really good friends of mine from the old school, so they'll be delighted. But that is a very, very special bloodline you have, Tal
Yes,
Oran.
I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. My grandma
Tal
from
Oran
Turkey, she was
Urami.
my grandma from Turkey, she's a Sephardi. So she grew up speaking Ladino, and my father speaks Ladino because of that.
Wow.
And then my grandparents on my mom's side are both Baghdadi Jews. So, and even that's deeper. Like my grandma, she's half Assyrian, half Basrawi Iraqi, and my grandfather was a full Baghdadi First Temple period Jew. Like a really fascinating bloodline that I'm doing a lot of research on it.
I hate to glout, but and I feel glouty even saying this, but a reveal for the show that nobody really knows about is that I actually learned in a Baghdadi yeshiva.
Wow.
But when I was in Israel, I learned all over the place in Israel. I started in Bad Ayin. I moved to the old city, and I joined the Beit El Yeshiva, which was the yeshiva of the Ben Ish Chai, and it's moved throughout the years. The Rosh Yeshiva now is Rabbi Israel Avichai, who's like really one of the most unbelievable people I've ever been fortunate enough to meet in my life. They say this man knows the Zohar better than anyone alive in the generation. I don't know if it's true. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I mean, the guy really has gone so deep in the Zohar. He lives in the old city of Jerusalem, and one of these very special ancient dynastic families from Iraq. And I was fortunate enough because yeshiva was tough for me when I was in Israel. And luckily I got like picked up by this like Ashkenazi Makubal who was very close. He was a member of that yeshiva, and I was a Ben Bait in his house. And because I was a Ben Bait in his house, like I was admitted into the yeshiva so that I could study with him, carry his books, do his thing, you know. And I learned there for a long time with them. And they're the ones that meet in that. You ever been underneath the kotel, in that room, in that synagogue underneath the kotel?
Like when you go left from the cave, like right directly to the left of the
Yeah.
Kotel.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like this little like right when you're like Keneged Kodosh Kedoshim, and behind you there's like they used to keep these candles lit. Did you ever see those back in the
I don't
day?
think so.
And then there's a synagogue above. They moved the synagogue above. Did you ever see that?
I'm not sure. I just know like the cave where it has like this long
Yeah.
synagogue.
It was old school. It was founded by Rabbi Darcy. Did you ever know who he was?
No.
He was a also an Iraqi, just like a legendary Iraqi Kabbalist. Legendary Iraqi Kabbalist. And he was like the first Rav of the Kotel. Oh my God, what a light. there was all these people back then. Sorry to pontificate, but they were all like connected to like Rabbi Shalom Efergan, who was the Chevruta of the Baba Saleh. And they were just, it's a cool crowd. Jerusalem Kabbalists are very cool. It's a cool scene. So where are you in
and
Israel?
Tzfat Kabbalists. I live in Tel Aviv. Actually,
I
by the
lived
way,
in Tzfat too. I was in Tzfat. I used to live in Tzfat for a long time.
I love Tzfat so much. It's like one of the best. I think it's a spirit. It needs to be a spiritual capital of the world. Like the religious experience that people get in Varanasi. I honestly call it the Varanasi of Israel. Like the way that people go to India and have very spiritual experiences. I think the world around can come to Tzfat even before they come to Jerusalem. They should have a pit stop in Tzfat to like get that holy energy and then go down to Jerusalem from there, because it just Tzfat elevates you in every conceivable way. And speaking of the Ben Ish Chai, I was recently in the I'm starting to hopefully work with the Babylonian Jewish Heritage Museum here in Israel.
Wow,
Yeah, they're incredible. And I was visiting them for the first time recently, and I met one of the descendants of the Ben Ish Chai. And I think he's the grandson of the Ben Ish Chai's granddaughter. And he gave me a blessing for Sukkot. I was able to do the Sukkot prayer with him, and we got to hear him pray in the Ben Ish Chai's. Because people don't know, but Iraqi Jewish was Judeo-Arabic that they spoke. They had a special Iraqi accent that had Akkadian and Sumerian in it. This is actually a book for my family that's written in Iraqi. It has Aramaic script, but it's pronounced in Iraqi Jewish dialect. So we actually got to hear this. It's just a prayer book. It's a small siddur with little brachot in it, just like things for kiddush, for Shabbat. It was dedicated to my aunt Lulu, who passed away. My great aunt Lulu. She was born in Baghdad as well. And so we got to hear him pray in the ancient Iraqi Judeo Arabic dialect, and it was what a schut, what an honor. Like, it was unbelievable. First, to even be able to pray with him for a moment was like incredible, but it just happened to be like that he was there that day. So
it was like Mina Shemaim. You didn't plan it. It just was like orchestrated by God. The hashgacha pratit in Israel works differently than outside of Israel.
Absolutely, man. Every day I feel it. Every single day.
So you moved to Israel? You made Aliyah from America, or you were born in Israel? It sounds like your family might be from Israel.
So I was born in America. I lived my whole life sort of back and forth. We made Aliyah when I was younger. Then we came back to America. And I've been traveling around the world for 10 years. So I was living in Southeast Asia at the time of the war. And I came here kind of on like a whim. It was a bit of an irrational decision. I kind of packed up my whole life. I was living in Southeast Asia for like 5 years. I packed up my whole life there, sold everything, and basically came here one way without a lot of money and no support system whatsoever. I was kind of bumming it for the first couple months of the war that I was here. I was living on people's couches and on the floor, just trying to create content and dispel the fake news about the place. And then things slowly started taking shape recently. So I've made like the permanent switch to living here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever traveled to Antarctica?
No, I have not.
Oh God, what do you think is in Antarctica?
I'm a Middle Eastern boy. I don't like cold, I don't like cold places.
Did you see just recently Iran tried to lay claim to all of Antarctica?
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking Aryans, man.
You got it right, dude. Because do you know about the Adolf Hitler base in Antarctica?
I'm just joking, by the way, for any Iranians watching. I love you to death. I love the Persians. I love you guys, Azizam.
He does. He really does on the show. You do. And it's like the thing with the Persians is really like the future is of their future is in their hands. Nima Yamini just made a really great video about, Iran and all the things that they're doing in Iran to like divert funds from the people in order to fund a war machine against Israel. And unfortunately, I'm very close. I worked in Kurdistan for many years.
Oh, wow.
And actually was I'm very close with a lot of people that have been in their government throughout the years, the Kurds. And I remember, when I was actually at their embassy while they declared independence in 2017. Wow. It was a shit kicker, man. They got
just fucking steamrolled by the Iranian war machine. Killed, treason, the Talabani family, the sons of like this Kurdish hero defected and gave Kirkuk to the Iranians, who they still control today. Kirkuk needs to, be reclaimed from the Iranians. It's like a major thing, but like you're out there with the Iranians. Do you ever come across Iranians? I know that like it's a really big mission for you, with all these people. Like, what do you say to them? Have you ever met an Iranian that wants to hurt you, or have you what?
On Omi TV, I meet a lot. There's many Iranians on there. Most of them, first thing I say to them is Iran, and they go yes, yes. They get very excited, and then I just go like this. They like doing the whole Korean heart thing, so I just go like this and go Azizam Gorbe Sabzi, and it's an immediate deflection of any aggression. Like you get them down to the charismatic level for a moment, and then 90% of them are like, I love Israel. And then there's those few who are like the Khomeini and Khamenei bastards who just are with the regime. They're there to dispel propaganda. I have one insane clip that I'm waiting for something to happen that's more Iran relevant to drop, of just this. I had like an IRGC full on, like a hot, beautiful Iranian girl that was just a spokesperson for the IRGC.
Whoa.
It was crazy. Like,
why do you
like
think
a
she's on
honey
Omegle?
pot? Is that what it's called? A honey pot? A honey trap? I don't know.
Honey pot, yeah.
Honey pot. Like she lured me in because in the beginning she was like very sly and very nice, to the point where I stopped recording, and the full debate's already been on YouTube for a couple months. And like then in the middle she started like talking points about Jews being Nazis and mass murders, and I was like, oh, I got to start recording again. I'm gonna go deep. Wow. And at one point in the video, I yell at her for breaking my window, and I'm like, please come fucking fix my window. You guys blew up my goddamn window. It's very, very funny clip.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. But
so
most
basically
Iranians
90, you're saying 90% is like they want peace with Israel.
Yeah, I have a massive Persian Iranian following on all of my platforms. They're like the number one people in the Middle East who reach out to me to say how much they support and love and believe in Israel. And they're just, bro, let's be honest about what Iran is. They're nor Muslim, nor are they Arab. No, they have such a complex identity. It's such a mishmash of identities that are in there. And they just are tired. They're tired of this fucking ridiculous system that's been forced upon them, and they're smart enough to realize, because they don't have a sort of they're not enamored by the Arab world. And it would even say in a lot of ways many of them look down at the Arab world for all the fucking insane shit that they've been doing for the last 50 years, and they don't want to associate with the Arab world. They see it as dirty, as fucked up, as backwards, and I can understand where they're coming from. I don't share those same thoughts. I can see where a lot of Iranians are coming from, and they're just like, we want to be our own shit, man. We want to go back. Like, we want to go back to who we were, to what our identity was before the fall of the Shah, before the Islamic Revolution. A lot of people don't know this, but Iraqi Jews, the Baghdadi Jews who got pogromed in 1941 during the Farhud, many of them escaped to Tehran. Tehran at the time was extremely supportive of Israel. My grandma was flown from Iraq. She was taken over the border to Tehran. In Tehran, they fed her there. They took care of her, and then they flew them to Tel Aviv at the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. In
Iranian
1941?
saved.
So you're a Farhud family?
We are a Farhud family. Both of my grandparents went through the
That's
Farhud.
crazy. I wish that the American woke right would understand what that even was, because they LARP on Israel so badly.
Yeah.
But the Farhud, basically 1 million Jews were forced out of their homes who lived in the Arab world, and they had nowhere to go but Israel. And the Farhud happened before the state of Israel, before it really got seriously bad. The Farhud was kind of like the beginning, like a little bit of inspiration from their friends in the Third Reich.
Yeah, people don't know the connection between Haj Amin al-Husseini and then, disseminating Mein Kampf into the Arab world and really making it a very popular. It was a best-selling book at the time that my grandparents were children in Baghdad. It was a best-selling book on the streets of Baghdad and Cairo, which were both like the societal and fiscal centers of the Arab world at the time. And this is actually, I always say, is like Palestinians get angry at me for being here. I'm like, motherfucker, y'all literally, Haj Amin al Husseini, the first Palestinian leader, y'all kicked me and my family out of my fucking home. We're only here because of the Palestinians.
Right.
We didn't, my grandparents were not Zionists. They didn't, they weren't a part of that movement. Obviously, they always believed in the idea of coming back to Israel one day, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't like Theodore Herzl's Zionists living in Iraq. That wasn't a thing. They just one day the Arabs woke up and said, "Yeah, we don't fuck with you anymore. Let's kill all of you." And they can you imagine? I always explain to people like this. Imagine October 7th. Everybody watching right now, I want you to really pay attention to this because I'm coming to you from a personal viewpoint here. October 7th, 1,250 Jews are killed, or Israelis, people in Israel. Every single Jew on planet Earth, 15 million Jews, felt that. Every single Jew knew someone that went through it or experienced it, was affected by it somehow. Think about that. From 15 million people, 1,250 people get killed, injured, kidnapped, and a whole group of 15 million people feel it. Now, my family was living in Baghdad when Baghdad's Jewish community was around 50,000. The whole Iraqi Jewish community between Mosul and Basra and all the different cities in Iraq was around 150,000. But 50,000 in Baghdad. In one night, 2 nights, June 1st and 2nd, 1941, when the Farhud happened, they killed 181 Jews and injured, raped, pillaged, stole from the houses of another 1,800 Jews. Can you imagine the effect that it has on a tiny 50,000 community? The whole community feels it. The entire community felt it. So that's why people always say, like, we lived in peace with the Arabs. We was kumbaya. We loved each other. I'm like, yeah, my grandparents remember what life was like when they were 15 years old until the Farhud happened. But when the Farhud happened, they talk about the anti-Semitism that they experienced, people spitting on them, people abusing them, people coming to them with swords in the middle of the night to murder them in their homes, children. Talk to me about peace. Habibi, shu peace. Where's the peace? How is that peace?
Exactly. When that happens, it's time to go. That's how my family came to America. My family came to America shortly after the American Civil War. They're called Kharkovian Jews. And my mother's side is really from Kharkov, but my father's side is from Vilna, Lithuania. And the massacres that happened in Kharkov were so shocking to Jews throughout all of Eastern Europe that basically there was a mass migration from all of Eastern Europe, as if they were like, oh my God, this is exactly what's to come. And so like all these people came to America at the same time, because of that one massacre. The same so with Iraq. I mean, it was the Farhud, was felt by not just the Iraqi communities, but other neighboring states where Jews were permitted to live. And a lot of people started migrating and selling their assets, deciding it's time to move and come back to Israel. So your family came from, how did they get to America from that situation? Or that side was always in
I do want to respond to one thing in the comments I see here. I am seeing the comments, by the way, for anybody wondering. Somebody wrote, Bach Precision wrote, I'll lay it straight, bro. I'm a Muslim historian. I have no real bias, but I think the expulsions was because the Arab regimes were slaves of the West and newly created Israel needed fresh blood. I hate the whitewashing of Mizrahi Jewish history. I need you to understand something very clearly. The Farhud that happened in 1941 was not the first Farhud on the Jewish community in Iraq. Everybody who's watching right now, all of you at the end of the show, during the show, if you can open up another tab, you need to look up Arab crimes against Jews, Muslim crimes against Jews from the 7th century. Look that up in your Google browser, medium.com. It is a horrifying list from the advent of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ all the way till today.
Muslim
all the way till today.
Against
Jews. And you could just look up 7th century.
7th century to...
I've independently verified like 70 to 80% of this list. I actually went through one by one to see. It is disgusting how the Muslims have treated us over the course of 1,000 years. For anybody who claims, not this, it's on medium.com.
Okay, let's go to medium.com website.
Yeah, right there.
Boom.
Bingo. That's the one. If you look at this list, it starts with Prophet Muhammad and the Battle of the Trench, and it continues down up until 1948. It's absolutely sickening the amount of violence that has been put upon us as a dhimmi community. My grandparents were dhimmis. They paid a jizya.
Yeah,
They
I hate
lived
it
as
when they
second-class
say
citizens.
they're like, "Oh, you lived in peace." Dhimmi is not peace, man.
And you'll see this list just goes on and on and on and on, and it's in every part of the Arab world. And everybody finger blames. They go, "No, it was the Ottomans. No, it was the Amazigh. No, it was the Babylonians." It's like, no, sorry. From the advent of Islam, with the second that pan-Arabism was a thing, and that Arabism started spreading around the Middle East, we have been subjected. Yes, there were times of peace. There were times of peace. Nobody's gonna deny that. But look at it's almost every single year there was some sort of massacre against the Jewish people. It's insane to think that it was all peaceful.
Also, the Dark Ages were heavy. You know, I'm just gonna go through this whole list, man. I'm not even gonna stop. Here, I'll throw
Yeah.
your camera up there if you wanna. Here you go. Check this out. I love my software, man. My software. Big shout out to Ecamm,
Ecamm is great. I use Ecamm as well.
who holds it down. That's amazing because I meet people all the time and they don't know what Ecamm is. And boom.
I've gotten a lot of people on Ecamm. They owe me some money, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about it. I feel the same way. Ecamm, you should hook it up because like I'm always plugging for Ecamm. Look how seamlessly I was able to do this transition right here, you know? And now we're watching the list together. Let's continue this list, brother, of all these countries that you're showing.
Look at that, 1333 forced conversions of the Jews of Baghdad. And when you look it up, there's obviously only minute records. And remember, these are only the things that were saved. These were just the pogroms that were saved that there's a record of. This isn't the whole list. This doesn't cover all the history. There's probably more besides this. So it's, again, not to demonize the entire Arab and Muslim world for our whole existence within them, because there were definitely times of peace, and there were Muslim leaders who treated us well, and there were Muslim leaders who protected us. But come on, look at this list. It literally doesn't stop.
This is why I love the fact that Israel's the fourth greatest military in the world.
You have to. We don't have another option.
And I say that publicly. United States, Russia, China, you kind of got it. Those are the top three. Israel is like after the top three, the first best military in the world. And I'll say this to you because England, France, they all have like, you know, like nuclear technology, stuff like that. Neither of those two countries are capable of regime change.
Sorry, Adam, just look at this one in 1800. This is one I made a video about. This is 1800, a new decree adopted in Yemen prohibiting Jews of wearing new or good clothes. Jews were forbidden to ride mules or donkeys and were sometimes rounded up for long naked marches through the Rub al-Hali desert. In addition, in Yemen, by the way, people don't know, they always say that Aliyot started with Ashkenazi Jews in 1948 and beyond. People don't know that Jews were fleeing Yemen in 1790, in 1850, 1870. The first proper Aliyot before the proto-Zionists, most of them came from Yemen because Yemen was devolving into super anti-Jewish chaos in the 1700s and 1800s. That yellow band that the Nazis made Jewish people wear, or the yellow Star of David, that came from the Muslim world. They were the first. They were the ones who invented that. They started making Jews wear yellow bands. They wouldn't let Jews ride horses. They could only ride mules or donkeys at certain points in time in Yemen, so that they wouldn't be taller than a Muslim. They would make them walk barefoot through the market so that they wouldn't be disrespecting the Muslim quarter in Yemen.
You know, like it's funny that you say that with the donkeys because, you know, even in the Quran, like they are constantly launching these like fake lawsuits in Israel, like to claim that the Western Wall is their property because that's where Muhammad rested his donkey. And I'm just like,
it's not his donkey. It's the Al-Burak.
These motherfuckers, dude.
It's
These
a mythological flying horse with a human face.
Is that really what it was?
Yes, they actually call the Western Wall. They call it the Al-Burak Wall.
what is it? It's a donkey with a human's face?
It's a horse with wings and a human face, and it was something that in Muhammad's dream, when he ascended from Al-Aqsa to heaven to meet all the prophets, they believe that he hitched in his dream. He hitched the Al-Buraq on the wall, and that's how it became known as the Al-Buraq wall.
So he's like a centaur with wings.
Yes, with wings. Yeah, pretty much. Very
Trippy.
similar. Trippy. Yeah. Yeah, you see? And then they tell me we lived in peace. Like,
I'm
get
not
the
going to
fuck outta
stop
here.
till this whole list is gone because I'm proving a
Good.
point here. The people need to
Good.
see this. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
We don't have to send them on a quest. We'll do the quest for you guys. Just pay attention.
I'm
Just
very
pay
much
attention
about
and
that.
shut the fuck up when you think you know something.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell me that we lived in peace. If this is what you call peace, I don't want to know what you mean when you say war. I mean, I know what you mean when you say war. It's October 7th. But if this is what you call peace, fuck your peace. I don't want this kind of peace.
And also, like, zero sovereignty to defend yourself.
Look, and they'll say to
Subjugated
me,
to
they'll
another
always say
nation.
to me, they'll always say to me 1941. Look at that right there. Just go up a little bit. They'll always be like 1941. That's when the Mossad came into Baghdad and started bombing Jewish synagogues. Right there, it shows you another pogrom in Baghdad from 1890.
Look,
And
even
here's another one.
1907 Casablanca.
In 1917, Inquisition of Baghdadi Jews in the Ottoman Empire. Like they drive me crazy when they go, October 7th didn't happen in a vacuum. Let's go back to 67. Let's go to
Look
48.
at this.
I say, no, it doesn't get better for you on the pro-Arab, pro-Palestinian side if you go back to 1948. Because before 1948, look how many fucking massacres they did against us.
Yeah, and then look at this in 1920 in the land of Israel. I hate calling it the British Mandate in Palestine.
Yeah, and this wasn't even the first set.
Yeah, dude. The first Jaffa riots.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even safe in Israel. It wasn't even like
Absolutely
we had
not.
Israel safe then. And Jews lived there for a long time. The Arizal was born in Israel.
Look, Hebron, Tzfat, and this is 1933, 1929.
1929, the Hebron
you can
pogrom.
you can go today in Hebron. You can go and see where that Hebron massacre happened, by the way. It's a hospice. It's a beautiful building, but you can go and see where it started. I've been to it. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Yo, I spent so much time in Hebron, man. You ever go to Hebron?
I was just there about a month ago with Ishai Fleischer.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I miss it. I used to go every Motzei Shabbos. I used to go to Hebron.
Lovely place.
Have you ever been inside of the tomb?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Oh, my God. What a day. You know, I'll tell you. You know, it's the second. It's only open twice a year. Which one did you go to?
Oh, no. You're talking about the Muslim part.
No, the Maharat Machpelah, yeah. The inside.
Like just to see where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were born.
Yeah.
Or buried. Yeah, I was there just on a normal day. It was open.
So twice a year, Jews are allowed inside of the tomb of Yitzhak and Rivka.
Right.
And one of them happened to be on my 24th birthday. And I was like all in. And
wow.
It was really like an amazing thing. The Tomb of the Patriarchs. And so this is a huge list, you know, it goes all the way. Yeah. I'm just going to blah, 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 because I'm like, let's get back to the show. But
it's ridiculous how long it is, though.
It is. It's ridiculous. I'm glad we got to go through a lot of it. But I wanted to talk to you about the Tomb of the Patriarchs. And then I have something really important I want to get your take on. But in the Tomb of the Patriarchs, when I was there, it was my 24th birthday. And I realized something, that it's a mosque that has no significance to Yishmael whatsoever. It's literally the tomb of Yitzhak and Rivka. And on the inside, there's all sorts of like Greek stone engagement. I mean, it's a really, really ancient building.
Yeah.
And with really ancient pillars. Very unique. And unfortunately, Jews are only permitted entry twice a year. I think that secretly this, Kever Yosef, and really like to have a synagogue on top of the Temple Mount, to be able to pray on top of the Temple Mount, are really of the three biggest issues that, unless addressed, the land will be in conflict.
And eventually, these three things are going to happen because Hashem wants this, so God will not be denied. What's your take on like the most important issues spiritually and religiously happening in the land?
So when I was recently in Hebron at the tomb of the patriarchs and matriarchs, they brought me to the staircase, um, which is right on the right side of the building. And the staircase is really interesting because, again, for this to harken back to what we were just talking about, this whole idea that we lived in peace during the Muslim occupation of this land. When the Mamluks one day decided they no longer wanted the Jews to be able to pray in the cave of the patriarchs, they barred us entry for 700 years. 700 years to the place where the most important prophets to our entire worldview are buried. 700 years. The place that Muslims came from Arabia to, colonized and conquered, and then barred the entry of the local people for 700 years. We only regained access back in 1967.
Wow.
And you know what we did? We left the staircase up there to show the world what the Muslims did to us when we so lived in peace with our holy sites. They literally made us pray on this tiny little staircase outside of the building. So we couldn't go into the place that was so important to us for 700 years. So I say, let's end apartheid in this region. Let's end segregation based on religion and race in this building. The fact that Tommy Robinson, a Christian, and Avi Yamini, a Jew, an apostate prophet, an ex-Muslim, now Christian, ascended the Temple Mount this week and were barred entry from Al-Aqsa Mosque, from the Haram al-Sharif, from the Dome of the Rock, because they aren't Muslim, is clear, pinpoint, definitive apartheid. I'm not talking to you about Mecca and Medina now and the Kaaba. That's something else. That's a Muslim holy site, no matter if its origins were polytheistic and it was conquered by the Muslims. That's theirs. The Temple Mount is something that has always been recognized of all time as a Jewish or Israelite holy site. The fact that Muslims conquered it doesn't mean they're not allowed to pray there. They should be able to pray there. It doesn't mean they get exclusivity. And the fact that the state of Israel plays this game with the state of Jordan and allows this religious, bigoted organization known as the Jordanian Waqf to occupy our holiest site in our religion. And this isn't me advocating for a third temple. I'm just saying, let people pray. Let people sing up there. Let people dance. Let them be in their holiness. Why bar people based on religion? Why bar people based on race? Why hurt Christians who want to pray at the place that's so important to them as well? It's a ridiculous thing. So I say we need to end for real. Israel needs to take a hard stance against this. No more Jordanian Waqf in control of the Temple Mount. That needs to go away yesterday. We need to regain control of this place, have it under our control, and open it to the world.
So I had a strange situation happen to me. Obviously, my show goes pretty viral amongst the anti-Semitic community, and I'm very.
I like that they're a community now.
They are a community. They are a community, and they even have their own e-girls. You know what I mean? Like they're like their whole community.
Like Syrian girl.
No, she's from a different one. There's all sorts of different factions. The thing with evil is all evil is all competing to be the leader of the evil.
Yeah.
So all good is just trying to accomplish victory over evil. So good has an advantage in the holy war because evil by inherent nature combats against itself because they have unholy alliances because they all are trying to rule. That's what separates the Jews from our enemies is, they all fall apart before our eyes, and they do also on the internet too. It's been theatrical, from, I don't even want to even say because I don't want to give it life anymore. You know what I'm saying? The different internet things that happened, with different celebrities on X or whatever. Just nip it in the bud, don't even say their names. Don't even let them make their clips. But we've gotten to this place where you have to engage online because they've made it, if we don't engage, it becomes like a massive echo chamber
that creates the viable conditions for pogrom. You know, and that's what the online community has done. So, you know, so anyways, that was a tangent. I was actually contacted by when Trump had this plan that he dropped about, you know, that they were going to make a transitional government and de-arm Hamas. There was I guess, an actual faction inside of Hamas that had prior knowledge of this backup plan for a long time and actually delegated specific people that it would trust to be sort of like interim temporary government officials that they can give power to. And one of them is a Christian Muslim man. And I won't even say the name of the city because it's up,
Christian
because they're like
Muslim?
killing. What's that?
Christian Muslim?
I'm sorry. He's a Palestinian Christian. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah. And they all have like these like appointment cards where like the person in charge like it's like a haskama, like they have like an actual certificate that, and it was like delegated these like transitional people that Hamas approved of. And so this guy basically came to me and he, you know, like really wanted to enlist me to like get his help to like end the war and enter into this transitional government. And originally I was like, I don't want to end the war. So what are you doing? He got my number through this like, you know, weird, I don't know, it sucks. But whatever, when you do this type of work, people reach out to you. So anyways, turns out, long story short, he reaches out to me, wants my help. He's like, and I was like, no, I don't want to end the war, whatever. Get the fuck out of here. I wasn't like, get the fuck out of here, but I was kind of rude to him. And he's like, what would it take for me to get your support? And I said, I need you to advocate for a synagogue to be built on top of the Temple Mount and unlimited visitation rights at the Tomb of the Patriarchs. If you do that in front of your group of people, I could tell that you're sincere about what you're doing. And he agreed to it. So now I'm kind of like in this pickle, like I still don't want to help the guy, but you know, he agreed to it. And I'm like, you know, like this is how it's going to have to be, Tal. Like we have to push on them like verbally for prayer rights. You know, it's going to come from people like you and me, like airing out these things and saying over these stories of things that happen to us. And like, you know, our temple and our rituals and our religion should come first in our land. If it's the Jewish homeland, you know, and these sites, you're absolutely right about ending the WAF. The WAF has done more to promote war. You know, it was founded by war. You know, the first army ever assembled against the Jewish people in 1948, the Army of the Holy War, led by Qadar al-Husseini, the nephew of here they are right here on the screen right now. That is Qadar al-Husseini, the nephew of Haj Amin al-Hussein. You know, and he was the first army that ever assembled. That was the WAF's doing. And so they don't deserve even guardianship over this site. But what I really wanted to talk to you about, Tal, the magnificently large story to get your take on, because this will go viral. I just saw a brand new viral clip. I don't know if you saw all the stuff because I have the ashes of the Paraduma. You know this Paraduma that was in the press and everything?
I met them. I made a connection with the Shiloh Cow Society, the archaeological site, and they have like this Jurassic Park compound, and I got to meet the red heifers around a year and a half ago. Really cool people behind the project.
So my buddy, who comes on my show all the time, is the man who bred the red heifers.
Wow.
And I got to do
a Texas?
From Texas, yeah, Byron Stinson. I'll introduce you if you ever want to do content with him. I'm sure he'd love to go talk to you. But he's the main guy, and he actually owns the heifers. He's the one who currently owns them in Israel. He's like this Christian, you know, super successful guy that like just like dedicated it all to God to go do God's work in the Holy Land and fulfill the Bible wherever he could. anyway, so I got myself embroiled into this thing because I was like one of the first people to really cover the story. And I got really close with Byron. And anyway, so these things are going viral. And on July 1st, the red heifer was done. The ceremony was completed. Did you hear about this?
Yes, of course. Everyone on the internet freaked out that the Jews are going to bring on the end of days.
Exactly. Did you see me on Tim Pool about this?
No, were you on Tim's show?
I was on Tim. Do you want to see the clip?
Yeah, I would love to. Maybe
I did the
watch
red.
it.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up. I'll pull up like the full version of it.
Dude, you got to get me on Tim's show. I need to talk to Tim.
I can't do anything like that. I was surprised that I even got on. And it was so crazy because the day before I got on, Tim was like super sick and he had to dip out for a second. And he was out for like 2 weeks. I mean, the guy was just like totally sick. He got like some bug, but let me see if I could send the actual clip because I have it on my Instagram. Let me pull it from my Instagram. It's an amazing clip.
This one's pretty.
Not according to the book.
Hold on. Where are we, folks? Oops. Okay. Instagram home. All right, it's not going to pull up from there. I'll show you the clip. I could send it from my phone, but essentially I have the red heifer ashes actually. So, long story short, actually I could just Google search it cuz everybody has it. Here. Let's do Adam King red heifer Tim Pool. Boom, and the video comes up. There you go. For the longest time, the Jew hate media. Yeah, do you have my tweet that I actually put on my... So I basically, what happened, if you want to go to the first slide first before we play the video, about a month ago on July 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. And prior to this, the media outrage that the Jews were going to go do this red heifer, you had like these lunatics like Stu Peters and others who were saying, this is going to usher in the Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a real big media balagan. It was really a bad twist. So they said that and also the government wasn't going to let them. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. The government said, okay, whatever. They ended up going out, doing a real cow. One of the cow's name was Tikva. They made the offering.
Oh, rest in peace, Tikva. I met her.
Yeah, me too.
It
was a real offering. They did it all by the laws. And I have with me some of the ashes right here, red heifer ashes. It's pretty incredible. The red heifer, the last time that the red heifer was done was over 2,000 years ago. The first time it was done by Moses. The second time it was done by Ezra from the book in the Bible. And that shows you how long the ashes can last. I have a little correction on that. So a pure red heifer doesn't come about all the time. And in this generation, we had 21 of them that were born. Pure. They picked 7 to bring to Israel. And out of the 7, Israel only allowed them to have 5 brought in. And they've been sitting around just doing nothing because the media outrage has been so astronomical about it. But the red heifer people, they fooled everybody. And they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago.
Yes,
now, in the ritual, you're supposed to have hyssop. I have also hyssop that is from the actual ritual, and also the red heifer ashes. And these get put into a clay jar and then sprinkled on people in a healing ritual. And it removes the impurity of death and allows for people to heal. So since this started, they have been sprinkling on people. There was a man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind. There's some real miracles that have happened in the last month since this thing has gone down. But the ashes, just like I have a little bag, there was 10.5 gallons of ashes.
and this is only a dime bag full. And these ashes have been disseminated. They're here to stay. They will never be found. So many people have them. And this little bag can power about 10,000 doses.
Power about that makes it sound like really potent cocaine.
It packs a punch. Yeah.
This is the stuff right here.
Test
man.
it for fent.
This is the. But we could go smoke this after the show. But no, I'm just kidding. Come back from the dead after you do something like that. But I have a video from the ritual, and if you want to play it, I don't know if you. It has copyrighted music. Can you slide it so people could see the slide? So these are the slides of the actual ceremony being taken place, and that's tikva, and everything was done specifically according to halacha, which is Jewish law.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect cow, and meaning that it doesn't have a single hair that is not red. And also, it could never have been burdened with work. So you can't even lean a shovel up against the cow. They have to be treated in a very specific way for their whole life. And then the person who does the ritual can never have been in contact with death. So basically, they're not allowed to go to. They have to be of a specific bloodline. And what they do was they raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground. And they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. And that's like how they never come into contact with death. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years before he...
Never left?
Nope. Because he was born to do this ritual.
Wow. Crazy, man.
And now that it's been done, the Messiah can come.
Okay, so this is you're talking about the return of the
Return of the Mac. Here we go.
So this is like the Jewish Messiah is going to come back. Would that be similar? Would that be like the return of Christ, or would it be a different?
Here's
guy?
the thing: I think the most fundamental difference between Judaism and Christianity is that Judaism actually believes in reincarnation, and so the Messiah is here in every generation. And there's a process by which we are awakened enough to accept the Messiah. So if the Messiah doesn't come, he dies, he's reconstituted, born into the matrix again, and has to find his way back to another thing. We can't build the temple until this happened. And now that this happened, the Messiah can come build the third temple in Jerusalem.
So, pretty exciting stuff, man. What's your take on all this? Did you even know that any of this happened, or that I had such a role in it?
No, I'm watching now, and I remember I did watch it. Maybe I even just followed you from. I may have recently followed you from this clip, because I remember when you said the word balagan, it clicked that I have watched this clip, and it was one of Tim Pool's famous clickbaity titles, like the Jews have sacrificed the red heifer, Messiah is coming, like something like that. Because I'm an avid watcher. I love Tim Pool's show. I love the Timcast. I watch it all the time. How do you think when you were in that room, were they looking at you like you were a fucking psychopath? Like, were they like, he's just
the Tim
crazy?
Pool guys?
Yeah.
Not at all. Honestly,
No?
I think they loved me. They got bigger ratings on that show, and Tim wasn't even there because he was sick. I mean, the ratings on that show were through the roof. The clips from that are like in the 20s of millions across platforms galore.
Wow.
It's just crazy. I mean, that was like, talk about like really like big day livush tifar techami, like really showing your malchut. Like I showed up and it was just like clip after clip after clip after clip after clip after clip. So I'm going to go back on hopefully soon. And, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Kind of like I've been off. I debated Stu Peters like really 3 times about the red heifers. He was going on InfoWars a lot, and I was like the only Jewish host at InfoWars on Band Video. So he was going on InfoWars and like basically spreading the hate gospel on the red heifer. I got really involved with the people because there's a lot of Christians associated with InfoWars, and a lot of Christians are very pro-Israel.
So these people I met actually through Christy Lee and her show. Christy Lee is also one of these InfoWars characters. And she ended through a chain of random getting to know Christians in the space, the media space. I ended up meeting Byron and got involved in these red heifer situations. So to update you and the world on the situation, because there's a lot of controversy, inner controversy about these red heifers, and also the Temple Institute, who largely came out and said that these were not kosher, and they said a series of public lies, one of which was that the cow was bit by a dog. And there's a journalist for Israel 365 named Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz who just made a huge discovery where he's been trying to get comment from the Temple Institute on why they try to disqualify these. But they found out that not only the Temple Institute was there present at the actual performance of the ritual, they actually received half of the ashes from the ritual, and they're just sitting on them. Like, how did I don't know your religiosity or where you fall into the spectrum of what you think about, Torah, Judaism, or like our history, our culture, but or what this even is to you. But seeing that this red heifer thing has happened, only 9 times in Jewish history, and then this would be the 10th. My greatest concern for my role in this was like really promoting Jewish consensus amongst the ashes so that the Jewish people would really embrace this mitzvah, but, because of this contention through the Temple Institute, and this new revelation that they've been lying directly to this journalist from Israel 365 about their role, like what would it take, do you think? What is it? First of all, what does this ritual mean to you? Where are you at religiously, spiritually? We know you're like super Zionist, but pro-Jewish, but and then where do you see this ritual like being able to acquire some sort of consensus so we can move the ball forward with, our what I would call my Zionistic aspirations, which would be to build the third temple?
So for the red heifers thing, when I actually went to visit them and spoke to the people behind the red heifer project, I actually did get in touch with them via the Temple Institute because I know that they work together. There was a time where they were working together. I don't know if they're still working together based on what you said now. And to me, the whole operation is just very inspiring. And I'll tell you why it's inspiring, because like you mentioned, for 2,000 years, this was something that was more than just the religious part of our lifestyle, it was a cultural part of our lifestyle of the Israelite people to care for these cows, to protect them in the way that we protect them, and then to sacrifice them in our ritual. And I think anything that gets closer to authentic Israelite culture, authentic Israelite practices is awesome. I love what Rudy Rockman, for example, did with the Sudra in trying to reclaim the Kafiya or the Sudra, the Shemach that came from Mesopotamia and its adaptation in Canaan, in Israel, in the parts of the land where Israelites used it. I have my own project that I'm working on. It's something that I want to attribute to the Jewish people as well, or to the Israelite people as well, of something that was from our past to bring it into the future in a modern context or in its ancient context. So we start using it again. I don't want to say exactly what, but it's something that I'm working on behind the scenes. And I think each one of us has a duty nowadays to try to bring us closer. I met with a guy around the time that I filmed the Red Heifer video named Josh Wander, he's a member of one of the communities who lives in East Jerusalem in Silwan, in the Palestinian neighborhood now that is overrun by Hamas and Fatah. And he lives there as a Jew in these outposts. And he was spearheading the Chatzotzot project to bring back the silver trumpets that were played during the temple period. So, and actually before, it was even at the time of the Mishkan, that these silver trumpets were played, and trying to follow exactly what they were, how they were made, and trying to play them often. I think that anything that comes close to bringing back our authentic culture, our authentic way of life, pre-diaspora, pre-colonization, is a huge plus. Red Heifer Project included. As for me, spiritually, I'm at a very, very high state. Obviously not like a tzaddik or something, but I feel a very deep rooted, very sobering connection with Hashem. I talk to Hashem every single day. I put on tefillin every single day. I've had the pleasure of leading a small Jewish community on an island in Southeast Asia during the pandemic. I had the zchut of being a part of opening a Chabad house in Asia and helping make a Chabad house happen. But I don't consider myself religious at all. I don't keep kosher. I don't keep Shabbat. I don't do all the chagim. I'm not a perfect Jew, not to a T. I don't study Torah on a regular basis. And I'm definitely I don't associate with the term religious in any context whatsoever. I have a direct line of contact with Hashem. I have many rabbis that I like to get advice from all over the world, from all kinds of backgrounds, some that are more Haredi, some that are spiritual hippies from Tzfat that smoke pot all day, some that are world travelers that have become religious today that I can really relate to on a personal level. And to me, that's the magic behind this way of life. What I love about being a Jew is, yes, there are certain circles that will dictate to you what is the right way and the wrong way to be a Jew. But overall, a Jew's a Jew. You can't un-Jew. And that when you have faith in that you're one of Hashem's children, that you're connected to him and you're connected to God in any way possible, and you really can't unshake that, just like inching and reaching over closer to Hashem and just showing Hashem that you want a connection, that you want to be connected to him in any way possible. Man, I've seen the biggest miracles in life. I've gone through a complete life transformation just by hard work and having belief that I'm connected to this deity, to this God, to this universe. And it's and that's the best way I could encapsulate what my religion is. But I consider it way more spiritual than it is religious.
So like, let's say like I had this, like, let's say I sent you like some red heifer, like I'll make I'm making the serum actually from my best friend is like this rabbi from yeshiva when I went to yeshiva, and he's a Kohen. So we're gonna like do this thing where we take from one of the creeks in Malibu, because it has to be from a mayan. The one law is the water has to be from a mayan, which is more like a river than an ocean or a pond or something like that. It can't be from your faucet. You can't fill it with faucet water. It has to be living water from a mayan. So we're gonna find a mayan.
Maim Chaim.
Yeah, it has to be Maim Chaim. We're gonna do it from Malibu or one of the hills out here, because it's like Kibbutz Galiot Ne'arav. You know, it's like the end of the exile from the West. And these ashes are here to, like, the way I see them, to purify the nation from that, like, that filthy death of that memory of the past, the weight of death that is on our consciousness. And in that case, the weight of the exile in general. So to me, I'm very grateful that Hashem was able to facilitate this for me through a variety of random channels like Byron and all these other places that I would actually be fortunate enough, someone spiritual like me, to get them. And we have a really great group of rabbis that are working with us to ensure that the I like to call it the serum, because it gets sprinkled on you with the hyssop. But basically, if you get one touch of it, like one drop of it on your skin or even on your shirt, it like purifies you from death. It's like at the end of the movie, that wild card where it's like, oh no, every weapon is at our throat. It's for sure going to be our death. And the movie's so science fiction tilted for the good that like the last, like kind of like Game of Thrones, where he kills the White Walker King at the end, and then every single one falls at the same time. Right. The Tehillah Me'atim and the ashes of the red heifer are so synonymous that it's like it just purifies you. One tiny drop, and you're good to go. And so I want to like do this, and so we're actually setting it up now, and to do this, and I'm going to be sending out these vials. So maybe I would love to send you some vials. The ashes were literally sent from Israel to California, back to Israel to makarv the whole nation. So maybe you could get involved with us if you want to
Sure, man. I'd love to.
purify the nation. I don't know what could happen. It's never been done before. It's going to take a lot of us just sprinkling it on people. I was thinking about getting squirt guns because Stu Peters wanted me to go on his show, and I was going to get a squirt gun and just like squirt him with the. Maybe he'll like disintegrate and turn into a Zionist just from like one squirt. But it must be late by you. What time is it? You're in Israel.
It's almost 10 p.m. and it's been a hectic week this week with all these influencers being paid $7,000 a day to be in Israel. So I've been running around with Tommy Robinson, Avi Amini, and the Apostate Prophet, just trying to cover some of their story and their experience in Israel. Tomorrow I'm going out on another adventure, and I'm just like dead. I've got no energy.
Bro, amazing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I'm lucky enough to have grown this X following like just in recent months for just tweeting really dumb shit. And obviously my video is like performing pretty well and people enjoying that. And luckily it got the attention of Tommy Robinson and Avi Amini, and when they came here we managed to chit chat and find details and a way to get together. And I snagged a really cool interview with him yesterday in the morning. Some hopefully pretty exclusive stuff that I haven't heard him really talk about yet, and just a lot of doors have opened up for me recently. Here I was today with Hillel Neuer from the UN Watch. Did a really cool interview with him, and me and AP have been talking for the last year, waiting for him to come back to Israel. Two Turkish brothers. So we were roaming around the old city today, just up to some shenanigans. And it's really important for me too, because I've been here for 2 years during the war, and the country wasn't so open for a lot of people to come, especially like non-Jewish creators. And it's really lovely to see these people here, and I'm so happy that they're here, and I'm so happy that I even get to have a small influence or involvement in their journey here. And I hope that like more people keep coming back to Israel, and I hope that when they're here I get to shape their adventure. I don't want to say who I'm taking out tomorrow until it's said and done, but I'm taking out a pretty sizable creator too, to go see like an important story through my eyes.
Is it Azalea Banks? Are you here to tell her that the Ashkenazim are the real Jews too?
I did text her, but it didn't happen. I did want to
believe that, man.
I did want to show her around. I totally fed into her. I texted her. I was like, I agree with everything you said about the Ashkenazis. Come, let me show you something. But obviously, like for me, I want to have a real impact on the people who come to Israel. I'd love to build a reality where when people come here, they either have to go through me or they feel they want to go through me. And I've been doing this slightly with different creators
He
from all
wants
over the
to
world.
control the gates, folks. You heard it here
100%.
first.
I believe my way is the right way when it comes to Israel's PR. And I feel like I have the numbers and analytics now to prove it, that it's a good strategy. And I want when people come here, I want them to see Israel through my eyes. I don't want them to see the Hasbara version of Israel. I don't want them to see the cherry tomato Intel chip version of Israel. I want them to see the real Israel. That is the Israel that I know, that the Israel that's a little rough around the edges, that you can fall in love with, the Israel that's charismatic, the Israel that's a little bit hooga booga, very much white colonizer. And that's how you create a better PR image in the country, in my opinion.
With the shenanigans with Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens accused me in writing of being a part of the plot to kill Charlie Kirk. And she accused me with being with Josh Hammer, Seth Dillon, and Bill Ackman in the Hamptons, where threats were made. It's kind of a crazy little thing. And in the process of it, like all sorts of things were dropped on the internet, including some text messages. And one of the text messages was between Charlie Kirk and a gentleman, a Jewish gentleman who he's friends with. And they were about tweets that I made in the spring, and about Israel's PR. It was important to us at the time to kind of give out a shout out to say that Israel's really lacking on the PR front. And I guess Charlie Kirk picked it up to our surprise. I didn't even know that he knew, of Awesome Jew or anything like that at the time. And he took it with him to his meeting with Netanyahu. And it was a part of this meeting. And, big shout out to, some of the people in the Netanyahu orbit who follow us, but it was very meaningful over here for the work that we all do. And I saw it, because I meant it, that Israel does have some major PR flaws. And, I don't want to LARP on certain things, but pretty e-girls are not the way to go. It's, truth, history, non-apologetic Zionism, sovereignty, these are all a part of the equation. And also to really have a specific understanding of the online space. And also to understand that Israel itself has some of its own moral inner dilemmas that prohibit it from acting in purely a sovereign fashion, representing like absolutist Jewish interests of absolutism to the Jewish absolutism, which is like, I don't know, like literally like we're doing temple ritual starting tomorrow. And if you have a problem with it, dial 1-800, you could go fuck yourself, So like, I really kind of believe in, the PR front. So what you're on to is a really big deal, and you do a really wonderful job, especially in the Muslim world. And like the way that you go about it is so funny. The way that you're American also, so you're like literally teaching Americans about things that go down in the Muslim world. And people want to say, what does Israel do for us? People are always saying that on the internet, like, what does Israel do for us? Well, like, here you have a Jewish man who speaks fluent English, a Jewish American man in Israel who speaks Arabic and all sorts of language. Urmian, he has Aramaic on his tongue in his household. And he, like the revealing of that you did the other day, of an American, of a jihadi Syrian in America, that is a service to the West that Israel just does for free. Israel's citizens are just doing for free. It's not even government. It's just the people of Israel, the Jewish people of Israel. So just kind of wanted to highlight that. What are your thoughts? And then I have a final question for you. I know you probably want to get to sleep and you got some big work ahead of you in the coming days.
Yeah, I got an early morning tomorrow.
What do you think about what I just said? And then I want to ask you a final question.
Yeah, I think I really do think that Israel
About
sort of
PR.
abandoned us in the PR fight very early on in the war. They just realized it wasn't a fight worth fighting. They had like the spokesperson with Jonathan Conricus, and then it turned to Elon Levy, and then Elon Levy sort of got a little political, and it started going to shit, and it was over before it started. And he kind of did it. He ran it on his own, but he didn't get any help from anyone. And this is, people don't understand. I was homeless for 4 months, sleeping on people's couches, sleeping on people's floors. As a 27-year-old, that's not a realistic reality. I went from having a job to losing all my sponsors for being pro-Israel to sleeping on a floor.
Wow,
That's
you're
not a realistic.
27?
I'm 29 now.
God
I was
bless
27
our
when the war
people.
started.
Wow, that's amazing. You're so
Thank you.
young. Baruch Hashem.
But like, people don't understand. We had no help. We still don't have much help. I get a lot of help from my audience, but the fact that Israel all but abandoned the effort is a real problem. I do think, though, that our decentralization legitimizes our cause. The fact that I had to struggle to defend Israel legitimized my cause, and I think it's what helped me build my reputation, because people knew I wasn't getting funded by anybody. I wasn't getting any money from any big Jewish donors, from any organization, because I say the word retard every 3 seconds on my channel. People know I'm not brand friendly or Jewish org friendly, and it legitimized the cause, and it helped people rally around me to support me up. And I think that we need more of that. I think Charlie Kirk's messaging to Bibi Netanyahu is something that he's actually, I can see that Bibi is heeding the warning, but it's not enough. What pissed me off this week or last week when the hostages came home was I saw a lot of advocates in this space say, the Jews are tired. We've had enough. Israelis are tired. Now the hostages are home. We can chill, go back out to partying in Tel Aviv. We can enjoy life again. I saw some shit the last 2 years I will never be able to unsee. We have targets on all of our heads. Now is not the time for the complacency we had on October 6th. Now is not the time for the complacency we had in 2014. It's not the time for the complacency we had in 2021. Now is the time for every single one of us to join this brigade, to become a fighter, to employ the same jihadist, shuhada, shahid mentality that our adversaries have against us, and fight. Like Trump said when he got shot in the face, fight, fight, fight. I really believe in this ideology. We need to be 100% on the offensive right now as Jews, as Israelis, as Zionists, cutthroat, aggressive in our PR, in our messaging, in our beliefs, what we stand for, and being unapologetic. I just launched a whole merch wear that just takes anti-Semitic memes and puts it on your body. And people are loving it. It's selling like hotcakes. We need to, Tim Pool always talks about this. We need to create counterculture. We need to make Jews cool again without it sounding so fucking stupid the way that I said it right now. But Jews have become uncool. How do you turn up the cool factor with Judaism again, with Jewish people, with Israelis? I believe what I'm doing, what Sar is doing, my friend Abraham Hamra is doing, my friend Other Barak is doing, my friend Talia is doing. All these people who are out here fighting like fucking maniacs day in, day out to improve our imaging from the ground level, that's what's going to make it happen. But it requires every single Jew, every single Israeli, every single Zionist to look at themselves in the mirror and say, yeah, you know what? They can't do it on their own. I got to join. I got to take this up. We don't have the privilege of sitting this one out, unfortunately. I wish you did, but we don't. We all got to fight.
So I hear exactly where you're coming from. I really appreciate your take, and I would say also that the best PR that we could possibly have is winning a war, especially
Agreed.
a war on 7 fronts. You know, when we have nuclear missiles and laser beams, that space lasers, that we end up conquering our enemies entirely and affecting massive regime change just through rudimentary means like pagers and simple and precision strikes. You know, that I understand that the state would be focused on winning the war more than the media PR. And now that the war's over, I would hope that we could start promoting some of those messages of absolute defeat to the enemy, you know, through the media, because you're right. We need to start investing and telling the story of what happened and being aggressive and making sure that the narrative is claimed for the next 50 years on this subject. You know,
no more
that, like,
Hasbara. No more going on the defensive. We need to be a fully offensive force now, going 100% attacking.
I said in the beginning of this episode it was going to be an offensive episode, and that is where we are. We are on the offensive. And we are on the offensive so much that, like, we didn't even and just to even further that point, you know, like, to be presumptuous about our nuclear missiles. Like, why don't we invade North Korea? Because Japan's like, please don't
Wait
do
a
it,
moment.
don't do it.
Wait a moment.
You know what I'm saying? They only
I'm
got
not
like
trying to invade
80,
North
bro.
Korea, bro.
They only got like 80. We got 400, you know?
Wait a moment, bro. I don't want to. I don't want to invade North Korea. Let me get my rights back in Iraq first. I don't want to.
I'm not saying
North
nobody
Korea.
should invade North Korea. That's why, because they have nukes, and Japan doesn't want them to do it, and lobbies the whole world because they know that this regime is so crazy that they would do it. You know, there's a point where, like, people need to realize that, like, Israel has 400 nuclear missiles and a crazy space program and it didn't even use any of its most aggressive weapons in any of the wars that it fought in all of the wars. More than half of the buildings in Gaza are gone, but the death toll is officially 58,000, and only 9,000 of them are civilian casualties. And, you know, all these were like houses that had tunnels that were demolished through TNT, not air bombs dropping from the sky like Syrian girl wants you to believe in her propaganda hit pieces. So winning the information war is the next step to absolute victory, and there's nothing that sells a story like absolute victory than absolute victory itself. So kudos to the Israeli government for winning the war and carrying out such an amazing use of force while being so potentially lethal and responsible with lethal force, that it didn't use its mass weaponry, and that the situation has been calmed without the use of really sophisticated military technology, really potential weapons of mass destruction. So that being said, that's why Israel is clearly the fourth most powerful army in the world, and that type of messaging needs to get out there. So, I really hope that Israel works with you. I hope they work with me and other influencers that are on the internet carrying this message. I know Netanyahu just had this you know, semi-public luncheon with 8 young influencers on the internet, and I was a little bit disturbed by it, but it's there's much more effect there, include them, but there's a lot of effective strategies that could be improved to really dominate with no budget.
Yeah.
I pay to do this because I want the honor and glory of being a part of serving my people like this. You know what I'm saying? My heritage and the message of what I believe in. I would never want a $7,000 check per post. I mean, it would be really cool, but I would much rather donate all $7,000 to bullets or whatever the IDF needs if I was able to get a $7,000 check, from the government of Israel. I'm like, put it into the defense of the nation. So appreciate what you say and your perspective on PR, and God willing, in the coming days, we'll see some good PR shifts in Israel, especially with this Tommy Robinson trip. That was a big statement. And I also think, God willing, if you're doing great work, the promotion of a Jewish synagogue on top of the Temple Mount, just a small little shtibel, where some people could go and say some prayers, because it's only going to take 1 or 2 real sincere prayers and the whole system collapses, because God's compassion for us is so great. And with my red heifers, we will be purified again for temple service. So let's begin.
Let's go.
Let's go on the temple.
My neighbors are going to kill me.
Okay, last question I have for you, then I'm going to let you go because I know you're super busy. In the coming weeks and months, what do you think people should look out for as it relates to Israel? Where do you feel the big stories are? What's moving? What's shaking? You got your ear to the ground inside of Israel, outside of Israel. Take as much time as you need. The audience is yours.
I would say it's tense. Keep an eye out on Iran, the front with Iran and the front with Hezbollah. And also with Syria, to be honest. All 3 are extremely unstable. Hamas has been somewhat quelled as a threat right now militarily, but they're arming, as we know right now. They're arming up right now, and they're refusing to disarm. I think it's more right now keeping an eye on the American administration, because it doesn't feel like we have a government who's pulling the strings right now. It feels like the American government is choosing the route for us. Not sure that's the smartest decision. Regardless of the outcome, it seems like that's not something we shouldn't be going down that route. As appreciative as I am, by the way, and I want to reiterate, for America, for the United States, for the people of the United States, for Donald Trump, for J.D. Vance, for Jared Kushner, for Steve Witkoff, for everybody who made the deal happen to get our live hostages back home, also telling us about our sovereignty and about our potential sovereignty of Judea and Samaria, telling us what we can and can't do. I don't appreciate it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's normal, and I think we should honestly call a bluff when we see a bluff. And I don't believe that Israel would I don't believe that the U.S. will disconnect relations with Israel over declaring sovereignty in Judea and Samaria. We're heading this ceasefire, this cessation of hostilities right now.
Really quick, you think it yes or no? You think it'll happen or not?
The annexation?
Yeah.
Not under BB. I don't think so.
All right, go back to what you were saying.
I don't see it happening now, especially after such hardcore statements from the U.S. administration. I don't think so. Okay. I actually think, I keep saying this, I think they're going to try to push us into a two-state solution, which would be a huge, huge mistake.
God forbid.
But it looks like that's where we're heading. I would say keep in mind right now that all this secession of hostilities is very much temporary. Syria is extremely unstable, and that may erupt at any point. I think it has the lowest chance of erupting at the moment. Lebanon looks like it's about to erupt like any day now. I was actually just getting warnings on my phone now that there may be another front opening up this week, because it's just Hezbollah is rampant, and the Lebanese government has done absolutely nothing to stop it. And Hamas is in their Taqiyya stage. You know, they're not going to attack us right now. Hamas and the Palestinians are going to see terror attacks at a low right now as they rearm for the next round, which they will call Al-Aqsa Flood Part 2, probably in the near future. We did not solve any problem. I'm not a person who's going to say we won anything. We have a potential to win, but we didn't win anything yet. I think there's a lot more work to still do. And we should go back to fighting. I really think that taking a break right now, unless what the U.S. administration is proposing is actually backed by truth and reality, which it doesn't feel like it, because can we trust Turkey and Qatar? Absolutely not, to uphold their words. I don't have a lot of optimism on where we're going in the future. It just feels to me that we're going to be kicking the can down the road now and dealing with this again potentially in the future with a U.S. administration that's way less sympathetic towards Israel.
What do you think? What do you think happens to Gaza? You know, I was in the Hitnat Kut. I lost my house in the Hitnat Kut.
Really?
I lived in Shirat Hayam.
Really?
Yeah. Here, I'll show you a picture of me being arrested while I got you.
Wow.
What do you think is going to happen to Gaza? Do you think we're going to be in control of Gaza, or do you think that do you think we give it up to the United States or to the Gazan people? What do you think happens there?
I think a lot of Israelis are comfortable with at least occupying the northern portion of Gaza. I think it's fair as a fair concession of war. Like, we won that, we deserve it. They attacked this from us. They should. This is Arab society. At the end of the day, the only way they learn lessons is like this. And I think taking and claiming the north of the Gaza Strip as a sign of do it again, you'll lose more, is a great idea. We should do that. At least the northern part of the Gaza Strip. I agree with that. But I don't know. I think there's going to be an attempt. It looks like there's going to be an attempt to quote unquote fix this broken society. I just, I had a chat today with Hillel Noyer from UN Watch, and you see just the immense corruption and scam that is the Gaza Strip, that is the Palestinian cause on a global level. It gives me zero hope that we're able to solve this issue, to be honest with you. It just, unless there is actual reframing of the entire conflict, of how we're looking at it from an international level, we're just going right back to the same. We're going back to the same old. Like, what has changed? What has changed?
Right.
Nothing has changed from
Nothing
October
at all.
7th. Nothing has changed.
So what do you think about like people like me who had a house? I mean, I live in America now, but people like me who had to live there, like being able to go back and live there again and get our property back for free, because it was taken from us. What do you think?
I'm a bit of an extremist on the issue, though, because I believe that we should all be able to live in this land. Everyone should be able to live everywhere. You and I should have rights to be able to live in Ramallah if we wanted to.
Yeah, I believe.
I don't believe in apartheid. I don't believe in ethnic cleansing. I don't believe in us being able to come in and tell people where they can and can't live, and vice versa. I don't think they should be able to tell us where we can and can't live. And the fact that in Ariel you have Palestinian students from Nablus and Ramallah who are studying in Ariel University, building the houses of said occupiers and settlers. People don't know that Palestinians are the ones who build the houses in the West Bank, which is the most fucking absurd thing in the world, while calling them occupiers. Sorry, I don't agree with that. I think if a Palestinian can live in Ariel, and if a Palestinian can live in Haifa or in Tel Aviv or in Jaffa or anywhere else in Israel, I want the rights to live in Hebron. I want the rights to live in Ramallah. I want the rights to live in Jenin and in Tulkarem. I want those rights. So I believe you should have a right to live in Gaza as well. I don't believe in ethnic cleansing and apartheid. It's not right. And the Arab world needs to cut that shit out now. It's over. We're not in the cave ages anymore.
So, I finally got that picture. This is me being taken from my house in Gush Katif.
Wow.
Look at these guards. Look at these soldiers. I was like in my early 20s there. Crazy, man. Look, I even have like that kippah with the pin.
That's really fucked up.
Man. But yeah, that was the safest time. And this is land rightfully Israel's by 1967 war, also the Sinai Peninsula. So
Ishai Fleischer always says it. We can't give land for peace. The fact that you can see that your land is for sale or that you can give it to peace in the Arab world is the biggest joke in the world. They literally fundamentally do not they don't respect it. How do I know? Ask any Arab. If you're willing to relinquish any piece of your land for peace, they see that as a weakness.
Yeah.
No. If we capture land now, that needs to remain under our power. Whatever we've captured in Syria, sorry. If you couldn't handle your country for the last 100 years to not attack us from there, doesn't matter who attacked us. I don't care that there's a new government. That shit's ours. We should keep it forever.
Amen. Just because it's in the Bible, we should keep it forever.
I don't even need the Bible to justify. In the Bible, I justify in my heart. I don't need to justify in a geopolitical way. If you mismanage your fucking land, if you keep insisting on firing rockets at me, my grandma, my family from your piece of land, and you can't handle it, and you don't have the military to back it up, whether America supports me or not, get fucked. That's my land now.
Get fucked.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
That's it. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I say on this show all the time, I believe in mass deportations. They come at me, they're like, do you believe in ethnic cleansing? No, I believe in mass deportations.
Deport.
Deport.
Let's start with Mamdouki, man. We should start with Mamdouki.
Yeah. And God bless the Druze, man. I know you do a lot for those people. God bless them.
God bless them.
May they survive this purge, and may Israel step up. They always like throw in my face, do you believe in Greater Israel? And I'm like, yes, I do. And they're like, what do you believe is the border of Greater Israel? I'm like, if we just take the place where the Druze are, then we're good up in the north, like for now, for like the next maybe 50 to 100 years. And then we should take the entire Sinai Peninsula now, and then we're done. And then we're done. We got like 50 years. Don't worry about it. We're just going to build our space lasers and, do our thing. So, but yeah, dude, Tall Oran, everybody. This guy is crushing the internet. Bro, where's your biggest following? Is it X? Is it
YouTube?
It's YouTube.
By far.
That's cool. Bro, this freaking episode is my first episode that I'm allowed back on YouTube.
Oh, amazing.
I have been kicked off of YouTube. Not only did I do everything that I did without any mainstream help, I was censored from the entire situation. It's probably how I ended up at InfoWars, but on banned video. And but this show has survived the most insane censorship, and this episode, YouTube has just decided, like, hey, I mean, if we're gonna allow Candace Owens to falsely slander and libel Adam King that he was a part of the plot to kill Charlie Kirk, we at least have to let Adam King back on the network. I mean, like,
I appreciate where YouTube is these days. As somebody who built his career on YouTube that was heavily censored, where they used to demonetize my videos when I made vlogs eating hummus in Tel Aviv. I shit you not, they would demonetize me just walking around eating hummus in Tel Aviv.
So you're the hummus eating Israeli that Tucker's talking about? Oh my God!
I'm not admitting to anything.
Cringe, Tucker.
But to see the fact that I can drop the word retard every 3 seconds in a video and I can still have it be monetized and make a living doing it, I'm so appreciative of where YouTube has come, and I want it. I say, let us all do it. Like, let the ideas win. Don't censor. Let everyone come on. Let everyone give their ideas. And inshallah, may the best men win. I think that when you watch my video about Candace Owens, I make a way more compelling case than Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. And the fact that they know who I am, which I know that they know who I am now, and they refuse to engage with me, to me, is the biggest win I can hold over their head. Like Myron Gaines the other week was asking for Zionists to debate. My tweet literally got more likes than him. My post on my community tab on YouTube got more likes than his whole tweet, calling him out to debate me. And he saw it and he ignored it. And that to me is a big fucking W. That shows that he's a pussy ass bitch. Can't back up what he has to say.
Myron Gaines, looks like you're a pussy ass bitch. He's got a point.
You are. You've been
He's
called
got
out.
A point. He wants to goose step like a brown man and wonder if nobody's going to challenge him.
What's his name? Fuad Amar? Amar Khan?
Amar fooled, I think, because he fooled
Amar
everybody. I think it's like Fodl or Fooled.
Yeah, Fuddle, something like that. Amar Fuddle.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
He reminds me of like a Haj Amin al Hussein. Just like, oh, anything to get them. You know, like these
I'll
Jews.
get them one by one. One day I'm gonna get them all. I'm gonna hopefully get them all one day.
Well, you got one coming up. My friend Owen Schroyer. You're gonna debate with him, Owen, and you both agreed to a debate. We're looking for days. You heard it here first. Adam King plugging the first debate. It's going to be Tal Oran versus Owen Schroyer, moderated by yours truly, Awesome Jew. We got that coming up in the near days. Dinesh D'Souza is coming on tomorrow to talk about his newest movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, which is all about October 7th and the Jewish claim to the land of Israel. That's going to be really fun. And we got like just so much crazy stuff. I'm really looking forward to your debate. That's what are you looking most forward to about? What do you got to say to Owen? Like you're weighing up right now. What do you got to say to Owen?
I don't really engage with people who do the whole Jewish conspiracy theories, and he's big on that. And so I'm looking to just have fun. You know, like I talk to a lot of these Nazi sort of Jewish conspiracy woke right people on the right on Omi TV, and they're just, it's all foolishness. But if you don't feed into the Jewish conspiracy, if he wants to talk to me about Epstein, I had nothing for him. I'm not gonna engage. I don't debate in good faith. I say that all the time. I use bad faith arguments to win my conversations all the time.
Wow.
And I'm open about that. I'm not here to have a civil debate with you. I'm here to bully you. That's what I
it's
do.
blood sport, man. I've done it many times over by him. So, and Owen's a great faith guy, man. I've worked with Owen for a very long time, and he debated Ayal Jacobi, and that was just a legendary debate. Still, people are clipping that debate. It was unbelievable. Both sides were incredible and just gentlemen to each other. It was really, really that was like people were bleeding at the end of that debate, and they were shaking hands at the end. And that's the type of fight that only men can have in the intellectual arena of mental combat. So I'm excited for you guys to go head to head, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. But
me too, man.
One thing is for sure, he's a stand-up guy. Known him for a long time. His ideas might not agree with, but he himself has a lot of honor. So
cool. That's
there's people, and those people with honor, the real win is changing them. That's what I believe. The real win is being able to change somebody's perspective so that they can join your side. Instead of embarrassing.
To me, it's all about how somebody comes to the table. If they come to the table with a lot of aggression, a lot of cursing, a lot of insane things that they got nothing to back up, I'm here to have fun. If it can actually be civil, I'm all about having it be civil.
I'm all about the clips, baby. So like you guys come with whatever you want. I got a lot of clips coming out. Anyone crashes out, it's like an immediate loss. So, anyways, God bless you, Tal. Keep up with all the good work you're doing. And I'm really looking forward to seeing everything you got coming out in the next month, 2 months. I'll hit you up when I'm in Israel. We could party.
Sounds great, man.
Peace.
See you, brother.
Wow, folks, what a show. We got 581 comments so far. So I guess the YouTube thing worked. Ha! I'm back! What a trip. Yeah, it's all YouTube, man. God bless it. So, great show. I loved having Tal. That was a lot of fun. I don't know what the numbers are going to be like. I'm so excited to look at YouTube and see who's tuning in. We got a lot of comments, and God bless you all. You know, it's nice to be off of Rumble as my primary and get some other markets and views. I'm also hoping that Larry Ellison's TikTok gives me a chance to come on, because I've been banished from TikTok by the Chinese. The Chinese don't want me on TikTok. They don't want me on TikTok. But now that Larry Ellison, the Jew from California, owns TikTok, maybe Adam King will be allowed back on the TikTok, and we all are fucked. Anyways, we have a lot of fun over here at the Adam King Show. And we are going to come back tomorrow. Oh my God, do we got a show? The Dragon's Prophecy with Dinesh D'Souza tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific. God bless. Thank you for tuning in. You know where to find me. Here on X, Band Video, Rumble, Instagram, and now again YouTube. No, but seriously, we broadcast to Instagram too tonight. Crazy. It's like we're back on Meta. We're back on YouTube. The grand architects of censorship have said Adam King is no longer a problem to us right now. We can use him and promote him in the civil space. Anyways, maybe they can allow me to help them with this Nazi thing that they created on accident. So tune in. Everything we do, we just do it for you. Hashem Yitbarach. Love you guys. Peace out.